All right, guys. I think we're live.
Are we live, Chris?
I think we're live. Hi, folks.
I mean,
All
I'm
right.
seeing us on the internet.
I'm seeing
Welcome
us.
to another edition of the Droids You're Looking For Star Wars podcast live. We're about to watch The Empire Strikes Back. Thanks, everyone, for joining us. Excited as you get a look at a classic bit of memorabilia from Ryan down in this, perfect hat that you had from back in the day, Ryan,
I got it,
representing The
and
Empire
when
Strikes
I
Back.
was in seventh or eighth grade at Disney World, after I got off Star Tours, this is before the acquisition. It says on the back, it says "May the Force be with you." I was very excited because obviously Empire is my favorite Star Wars movie, but also that it didn't have like any like Mickey Mouse on it. Like it's just a straight up Empire Strikes Back hat.
That's
Looking
pretty
back, I
sweet.
wish it wasn't made out of denim, but
Well, it's
I
hard
got
to
my
find
mileage.
it's hard to find a nice denim hat.
Well, we're thrilled to have you all with us. Happy May the 4th, everyone, to all the droids out there and those of you watching us, wherever you may be watching us. You can find us on live.droidspod.com, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, all the places. Chris, did I catch everything?
I think you got them all. We're trying to stream live here to YouTube also. Um, so just if you happen to be on Facebook and don't prefer watching us on Facebook, switch over to the YouTube.
Yeah, let us know if we are.
Yeah, I think we are.
Sam, you're a little far away from the microphone, I have to say, my friend.
Okay, so yeah, maybe I'll move in. I was gonna do some painting. And
Oh, that's right.
I brought
So
the board.
for those of you just joining us for the first time here on the Droids Live, Sam will paint scenes from the film as we go. He also is giving away those paintings as well. And so if you comment throughout, if you let us know what you think about the movie, let us know your thoughts throughout the film, we will also give you a chance to win one of Sam's fine pieces of work. We all love his artwork. They're all in our home, and we want you to have a chance to have one too. So be sure to comment and let us know what you think, and we'll give you a chance. We gave one away from our last live pod, and we're going to do that again tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, I'm excited. So at some point I got to figure out my drawing table sitch, but I'll try and stay up on the on a hot mic. mic.
So here's how we're doing it. We're on Disney Plus again. We watched A New Hope. Some call it Star Wars. Some call it A New Hope on Disney Plus. We wanted the
best
McClunky
Star Wars
cut.
movie.
And now we're going to watch The Empire Strikes Back. I don't think there are any differences on Disney Plus, but we're going to get into The Empire Strikes Back episode 5 and get ready to start here in only about a couple minutes. So before we do, going around the horn real quick, I want to say around for this group, if you had one choice of movie theater snack, if you were back in the theater now, what would be your go-to movie theater snack as we get everybody a chance to go on whatever streaming device they have, find their way to Disney Plus, get everything set to go to hit that play button. Let's start with Ryan. Give me your go-to movie snack.
Well, me and we usually go all out on the movie snacks, the wife and I, and so we go with three things. We get something chewy, something chocolatey, and something salty.
Oh.
So generally, we get a pack of Sour Patch Kids or Mike and Ike's, then a pack of peanut butter M&Ms if they have them, but peanut M&Ms are kind of what they have, and then you pour those in a little popcorn, you shake it up.
Ooh,
Genius.
wow! All right,
that's so the mixture of popcorn and peanut M&Ms would be my one thing.
I do want to hear anybody who's watching, of course, let us know in the comments or snack of choice. But let's go to Chris next.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fitting for this movie. I hands down, my favorite all-time movie snack is snow caps.
Wow.
You get a little bit of that candy crunch, but then you're just eating chocolate chips out of a box. Where else could you do that? I think that's my pick.
Snow caps are such a victory of branding. You know,
Yeah,
they're just dried sugar put on.
They're
top
just
of,
old chocolate chips. Chocolate chips that weren't pretty enough for the the Nestle bag.
Yeah, yeah, they're deformed, I guess.
Yeah.
I'd have to go with oh man, I'm torn because I think if I'm limited to one, the tough thing is I also like Ryan. I like to go salty sweet, but I'm gonna say Junior Mints.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, you can load up on everything you got. So
yeah.
Tell us the full gauntlet.
Well, I usually do a popcorn, and if I'm at a traditional good old movie theater, I'll do the couple of pumps of the butter on top. Of the,
couple butter
popcorn.
pumps, yeah.
Family show.
Make
But of course, we also like, you know, as New
sense.
York, Brooklyn residents, we like going to the Alamo Draft House, and they have some, you know, they have some
So a
pretty
pulled
rad,
pork sandwich.
good,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
good
So I
like
like a
popcorn options, good food. They got the wait, Chris, what's the pizza I like? You know it.
the M train.
The M train.
There it
Is
is.
that the
baby.
one with the turkey
There it is.
meatballs? No, it's the one with like
It's got every meat
It's
on
got
it.
a
it's
little.
got
It's
every
a,
meat.
it's a little spicy. It's a spicy
a little
boy.
spicy.
Well, we have to also call out Bryant. Bryant, thank you for joining us. Very nice of you to join us here on this. But Swedish Fish, a very good call.
Yeah.
I'd have
Oh,
to
for
say
sure.
Yeah,
that would
classic.
probably be my second option behind straight up Kit Kat. Kit Kat has
Ooh.
always been the movie snack
Ooh.
of choice for me. Usually by itself, but also I'll throw in a popcorn and a Coke as well.
Oh.
But I have fond memories of having a Kit Kat in a theater growing up. And the interesting thing, Kit Kat started to get phased out over time.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
A
haven't
lot of
seen one in the movie
theaters no
theater in
longer
a long
have Kit
time.
Kats.
Huh.
And it used to be a staple. So a bit disappointed. I don't have a Kit Kat available with me tonight. So I'm sad that I'm going to miss that
That's a
and not
bummer.
have that while we watch Empire.
I have a question for Little Gray Bunny. She just posted here. She said she'll eat Twizzlers until she's sick. I'm asking standard Twizzlers or pull and peel.
Oh.
Oh,
And then we
Those
can
are two
discuss.
different things.
I know. What are you guys? I'm a pull and peel person if I have my choice.
I'd probably be a pull and peel, but I'm also not a huge Twizzlers guy. But if I had a
know.
choice, it'd
As
be
Nah.
a kid, pull and peel, I gotta go tradish. I
Yeah.
gotta go tradish nowadays.
I'm with Samuel on this.
Wow.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, keep on letting us know your favorite snacks. Let us know what you watch. Do you have a Star Wars snack? Do you have something you always watch when you watch Star Wars? I mean, I wouldn't put it past people having one particular item. But coming up in about let's give a 30-second here to get ready
Yeah.
for The Empire Strikes Back on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. Get set to hit play, and then
Yep.
we'll
Cue it
all
up.
sync up.
We'll
here.
do a little countdown, and if you look,
And listen,
right,
we know there's a lot of people doing this right now,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we're glad that you're here with us.
thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
If you look right below me, I have a little timer, and it's set for 6 seconds and 93 whatever of a second. But that'll be our play timer, and the reason I do that is because I can't hit them at the same time. So I'm gonna hit play, and then about at 7 seconds, I'll start that timer up, and then we'll have a sync time. So if you get
I'm glad
out of-
everybody knows now. That...
I don't just have a timer for just anything.
Little Gray
on it.
Bunny has never had a Twizzler pull and peel.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
There's no time like the present.
Well,
Jeez.
maybe there'll be some with your art if I can source them in these crazy times.
Yeah, why
Interesting.
don't you drop a nice picture of a pull and peel?
This is Obi-Wan just peeling off a Twizzler.
All right. Well, let's fire up the converters here.
All
It
right.
started for Empire Strikes Back. How about
Okay.
let's give it about 5 seconds from now.
All
4,
right, count it.
3, 2, 1. Let's hit play. It's always great to hear the fanfare. We said that last time. When we
And
watched
listen
Star
for the
Wars.
key. Listen for the key at the end of the music here.
Oh yeah, Sam.
All right.
Perfect interval. It's a fifth.
There it is.
Is that what it is? It's a fifth up?
I believe it's a fifth up. Yeah.
Hey, you guys want to give me a little time code? It seems like I got out of sync here.
43
I'm at-
seconds?
I'm at
43 exactly. All right.
45? 46?
45. All right. 45 seconds. Tell me
Why
when
don't you
one
set it in a
minute.
minute and we'll.
We're going to
signal you
be
now.
at a minute in 6 seconds.
Okay.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Some other live streams you're watching right now might have this.
My
thing
God,
perfectly
it is a
synced.
dark time for the Droids pod.
Where are we at?
Although
Give me a count.
the boys have planned, their plan has been destroyed. And Chris's troops have driven the droid forces from their hidden base and pursued them across the galaxy.
All right.
I know we're talking about Star Wars, but Little Gray Bunny, I have to recommend that you try a Twizzler pull and peel.
Yeah, I think.
I
For
think-
all
well, we
all
know-
those of us with childish, unrefined taste, it's great.
I actually think, Sam, since you'll be sending the painting to Little Gray Bunny that she did win, send her a pull and peel with it. I think
This is what I'm saying.
I'm
This is what
committing
I'm
you to
suggesting.
that.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're through the crawl.
Through the crawl.
And-
Didn't read it. Didn't talk about it. Don't know really what it said, but I feel like I know what happened in the first one. So
You didn't need a refresher. You didn't
It's
need
really
previously on
cold. You know, like
Star
it's
Wars.
cold. And
Oh, you know,
interesting thing about this movie, and I have it on. Wait, hold on. Interesting thing is that this is the movie that the Imperial March was introduced. People
Yes.
generally
Yes.
remember it being in A New Hope. Some people call it Star Wars. This, of course, is not the Imperial March, but it's the fact I have, and I wanted to get it out there.
But Ryan, I have to say, I don't know if that's true anymore because the Imperial March is introduced in Solo, a Star Wars story. If you're talking about canon timeline, so
Well, if you're talking about canon timeline, I mean, it's in the prequels as well.
is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
they play it at the end of Revenge of the
Oh,
Sith,
that's right,
like
they
when
do,
they
don't
show
they?
like all the clone troopers becoming stormtroopers.
Does anybody
This
else
thing
feel
is
like
so
when they've
scary.
heard the probe droid, when they make it to the base before Han and Chewie take their shot at the probe droid, that it sounds like he's saying, "I found the rebel base, even though
Sure.
he's
That's
not
funny.
Am I the only one who only
Do you think
heard
that do you think any proctologists have ever like had that play in their office for fun?
Found the
Say, here
rebel.
comes the probe.
Here we go.
Great stop motion. Chris, isn't that one of the things that it was like one of the most complicated special effects shots
Yep.
done at the time?
Yeah, there's a scene coming up where it's kind of a pan with one of these guys, and basically it was very difficult to have camera movement and stop frame animation at the same time, and matting it onto an actual place.
now, folks, if you don't recognize this hero, it's Luke, and
Thank you,
you're
Little
gonna
Grey
know
Bunny.
that from the score, because his face does look radically different.
He claims that his face was not ripped off in a motorcycle accident, but my mom told me that's what happened, and so I still believe it.
He didn't have a face-off incident.
Yeah. Yeah. Somewhere Nick Cage is walking around with Mark Hamill's original face.
I think you mean
Um,
Sebastian Stan.
Friends, also
That's it.
friends, if you happen to be following us on Instagram, we're live on Instagram now.
Whoa,
How
Yeah,
about that?
innovative.
a little-
On the gram.
I'll tell you what, it's a little funny looking, but we're on
having
there.
having four screens up.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, let's just say, let's all move into the side of our screen like this and wave to our friends on Instagram.
Oh, look, we can nuzzle noses.
I don't know which way we're supposed to go.
I don't either.
And here we go, Sam. Let's
There we
start
go.
talking about jackets. Let's start
There we
talking
go.
about coats.
So what we're
There we
seeing is
go.
the brown coat
Brown
version.
jacket, blue
it,
jacket.
it certainly
blue-
looks like a brown jacket version.
Brown coat, and again, I'm not speaking about
Oh, yeah.
Firefly fans, although I am one.
Yeah, this is the blue jacket.
Well, no, this
No,
is the
it's-
brown. It was color
Brown-
corrected to be brown,
I was
wasn't it?
just gonna say my screen's kind of making it look a little blue right now.
I
Definitely
prefer
brown.
it blue.
I prefer
Definitely
it blue.
brown.
Blue is also the version that I purchased and love to wear
Mhm.
every winter. Big
Mike, I'll tell
endorsement
you
here
what, you
for
got had.
for Columbia jackets. I never had bought one before I bought the Han Solo version. It is quite fantastically warm, and it is now my go-to choice of winter coat.
But you're saying that it's a blue jacket.
It is blue.
So it sounds like maybe you got a knockoff. I told you not to buy it from Columbia Jacket.
I sent you that they advertise on Cosmic Book News.
Where we get all our information.
Oh wow! You know what? Little Gray Bunny says that she's usually vibing with you, Ryan. So
I know. I said thank you, and I
Wow.
appreciate that. And I hope that she tries the pull and peel and thoroughly enjoys. I don't want to break my streak of having good opinions.
So if we're talking about this as the first time, is that the first mention? I guess it's not the first mention of Jabba. There was a mention of Jabba in A New Hope when you're talking about the original theatrical release. Obviously, we see
Mhm.
Jabba in the special edition, but is there like one brief mention of Jabba in Star Wars?
He says, "Tell Jabba I have his money."
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Han Solo is so wonderfully childish in this. Like they
This is. I
continually-
mean, oof.
they dumb him down as the movies go, but like this is like the perfect balance.
Guys, I gotta say this. I don't know if this is a hot take. I think this is a really solid sequel.
There
I
really
think
should
the
have been
banter
more
is
of
so
these,
the
right?
banter is so good. This movie, I mean, so much of this commentary is just going to be like, this movie's so good. It really is just so good.
It really is just as
The
good.
character, the world building, oh, it's so good. The jackets.
We got a comment here from Bailey, and he says that Leia is instantly giving Han the stink eye as soon as he walks into the command center. And I think that's one of those things that really stands out, that there's more that's happened between the two films. There's more relationship that's been built, and you can tell by the way they interact that there's a lot we haven't seen that is probably like given us more background without actually needing to see it, just in the way they interact.
In media res, that's how you got to start.
Right?
No, it would have been cool if they started this movie with a montage with no context.
Over 15 planets.
With no content.
I mean, one of the best moments is when he covers C-3PO's mouth.
I feel like the Han Solo C-3PO relationship is the Harrison Ford Anthony Daniels relationship. I don't
Like in
think
real life?
either of them's acting.
Right.
I think this was just caught, but between takes.
Speaking
Stop
of
talking.
counter programming, isn't Anthony Daniels currently competing with us, reading excerpts from his
This
book?
is true. This is
He's
true.
going live right now with that?
I don't want to lose our audience here, Ryan.
Oh man, we just went down to 0.
I forgot.
I like this
Get
whole
outta
little
here,
sequence here.
Ratzenberger.
Oh, I got to say, I like that. There's
Oh, is
not
that him
only-
right there?
Yeah.
That's
For real.
awesome. He's the one that he says, "I'll see you in hell."
I believe so. Yeah.
But I didn't think that was the same one.
Isn't there a whole explanation of why him saying "I'll see you in hell" like it doesn't break the universe?
Was there? I just know that
They
people
refer.
argued
It's
that
something
it
like
did.
someone like explained it away, where like hell is like a planet in the Star Wars universe.
That makes sense.
Is it Mustafar or Modesto? Oh wait, Modesto isn't canon. Is it?
Not yet. Oh, that's right. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
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 Oh, that's right.
Well,
Um,
flying blind here without our resident Chris Cliff.
So here we go though. According to a legend of the Naboo people, chaos was a pit held back by 6 impenetrable gates. In a direct reference to that legend, the virtually fathomless core of Theed's power generator was kept behind 6 laser gates, and chaos was a mythical place associated with disorder, and referred to as hell in canon.
I'm glad
Alright.
you know that.
Well,
Visual.
Get a
Sam,
nice
we
little bit
got
of-
2 hours to fill.
We get a nice little bit of
Buy a little great
like,
money.
This movie's all about hands. It starts. We're getting right into hands.
Do you
A little
think?
bit of foreshadowing.
Do you think hell's in this book? I got the visual dictionary.
Look it up, my man.
It's not that big a move, but it felt like when we saw this for the first time, it's like, oh, wow. Okay, so this is the tip of the iceberg. Obviously, we're on a nice planet, but tip of the iceberg for us seeing there's new powers. There's more that he can do with the Force.
Yeah, I like
And
that.
Also, just the second movie and second time somebody's lopped off a hand, and we're still
Right.
at this point. If this is, if you're sitting in the theater in 1980, you're like, man, I wonder what that would feel like. Oh, good thing nobody I care about will ever know.
That's
That was
true.
Before the mass behandings of 1980.
That is true. Talk about it's not even foreshadowing. It's just
No, it's foreshadowing.
No, it's foreshadowing. You have to call it something else. You can tell that you ran out of steam. It's hard not to just like watch the movie.
Really?
Also, we had nothing to do with making it. So
So you're saying this is not a commentary track?
it's more of a comments track. And that's
We
cool
made
to
it.
me, baby.
we made it happen.
Do you think in 1980 people were mad because they were like, Luke can't do that?
I bet you half the audience was like, "Who's? Oh, that's Luke. I forgot. It's been 3 years."
I didn't see the first one. Do I need to see the first
Yeah,
one?
exactly.
Weird ADR on that fall.
Oof.
Humph.
Yeah.
He really hits the oof. It's like we didn't need that.
Worth noting, The Rise of Skywalker came out on Disney Plus today, so we're glad you're here watching this movie with us instead.
Certainly a better use of everyone's time.
Watching Luke call the saber, does remind me just like how perfectly, like what a good homage looks like, in Force Awakens. Like that moment hits when Daisy gets it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
When Daisy Ridley gets the lightsaber.
Never seen it.
Oh my god.
Sam, is that an Aeron chair behind you? That's a high quality chair, my man. That's the lumbar support on that bad boy.
I love that those two
is shot, so I don't use it.
I love
Look
that
at
those
this
two
shot.
guys were trying to be like coy and quiet about it, and then C-3PO is just blatantly like, he's not gonna survive.
Can you think that there would be a sequel in this day and age, a current one we're living in, where it wouldn't start with a 25-minute action sequence?
It's pretty wild to think about.
I mean, where it would just be like someone riding a horse across a landscape and then
Yeah.
people talking in tunnels
Yeah.
for a long time? No, I
Yeah.
can't think of one.
Well, I mean, there's a trade-off here though. It's like once it happens, then it's like we're in it for the rest of the movie. This movie, it's a freight train once it starts picking up.
Well, and I have no issue with that. I prefer it this way. And it's done well in other ways too, but I just think I can't imagine a sequel doing this now.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not refreshing, but nice to go back and feel
Yeah.
this again.
Force Ghost. People have never seen Force Ghost before.
Yep,
First
it's
appearance of
true.
a Force Ghost.
The Force can't do that.
I just looked up I'm looking at a review here from 1980. It seems like they said not my Obi-Wan.
Right.
Weird.
Not my Luke's face.
Aw.
Do you know where they filmed this, Chris? Do you know where they filmed this?
It's got to
I
be in
don't.
that dictionary.
I thought it was Norway, wasn't it?
I think it is Norway. Yeah,
So, how cold do you think it really was?
I think it was extremely cold.
I bet it was.
Yeah. Doing a little. I put it into my. Yep, Norway. I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of it, but it's a.
Does it
glacier.
sound like an IKEA?
Yeah, exactly. Served as a filming location for Hoth. They were filmed in sub-zero temperatures.
And
Wow.
that's
First,
cold.
okay, so many things of note here. First off, Han Solo wielding a lightsaber blew my mind. The inside of the Tauntaun looks like the inside of a tater tot. It just is. It's what I think of
This-
every time.
This might
Now-
be the.
Now, do you think so as a child, my understanding was that he was covering Luke in the viscera, but is he putting Luke inside the Tauntaun?
He's
Yes.
putting him in.
He's putting them in.
I always
they-
thought he was putting him in.
Yeah, they both slept in that tauntaun. It's like an old like battle thing. Unfortunately, people had to do with like horses and stuff in wartime.
When?
And like
I'm not saying that like wartime wasn't
just
ugly.
like
I've never heard this.
just like historically, it's something.
Oh,
that
he did
people-
that in the
Revenant. He did that.
Revenant. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you
wartime.
what, that guy has a hard go of it in that movie.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, look, here's my man, Rogue 2.
Oh, I thought you meant the
We
director.
found them. Repeat, we found them.
I thought you meant
These
the
were
director.
Snowspeeders were my favorite ever.
Oh,
also,
dude.
this music.
This music is dope.
Yeah.
Well,
This-
it's also because it's Shadows of the Empire. You
Jon
play it
Favreau.
constantly, and it was always on as you played that
Bad.
level.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. I played.
Yeah.
I've been playing Shadows of the Empire on my PC, and it has this in the first
Video
level.
games.
It's great.
Video games for decades tried to recreate this scene in like from the first Star Wars game on.
Like Star
Yeah, that
Fox.
Every
Empire,
game.
the Super Empire Strikes Back game has a level that's like
Yeah.
almost unplayable.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like Star
exactly.
Fox is just this. Like
Yep.
trying to be this.
Essentially, yes.
I posed the question on Twitter: what do you think smells worse, the inside of a tauntaun or the droids at the end of a live episode?
Aw.
Well, we know that answer. David, who's watching,
droid?
says, I always thought they were going to eat the tauntaun, which is fair.
I mean,
I mean, they may have also.
Yeah.
We don't see the
They
tauntaun.
don't
don't-
like. Yeah, they
Yeah,
when they
we-
find them, they don't see the.
We don't know
Tauntaun.
what was going to happen there.
Back to tank. Big old diaper. Look at Weapon X here. Do you think it was nice to be in that? Like Mark Hamill actually had to be in there. Do you think it was like? Do you think they warmed it up?
I always thought this looked fun. Like this was probably fun to film.
Anybody know who the DP is on this film?
I do not.
Because we know Kirshner directed it, but like you can tell that just the way this looks.
It was shot by a real DP.
Yeah,
they had money.
I'm sure at one point I knew it, but I don't recall it off the top of my head. Chris, is that in that visual dictionary?
Well, it should be, but it's not. Let's take a look.
I mean, no surprise because we know this is the first time that Star Wars has been available in 4K, but it looks pretty great here on Disney Plus streaming.
It looks very good.
Every time I watch this movie, I'm actually impressed with how good it looks.
It's the only Star Wars that does it consistently. Because I think with the other kind of inarguable like best looking Star Wars is The Last Jedi, and that one, it was made very recently, and I think one of the things that everybody, love it or hate it, talks about with that movie is like it looks great, you know, but like, yeah, there's a surprise. Like this movie was made 40 years ago.
Now, why didn't these two get together?
So the DP is Peter Suschitzky. He's a British cinematographer, well known for Rocky Horror Picture Show, The Empire Strikes Back, and Mars Attacks. He also did the later films of David Cronenberg.
Like what? Like Cosmopolis and stuff?
I'm getting there. Ryan knows David Cronenberg films.
Eastern Promises, History of Violence.
History of Violence, man, that movie screwed me up in high school.
Wait, here's where it comes. I found the Rebel Base.
He did do a History of Violence. He almost did.
Mike, you're thinking that the probe droid is saying, "Everybody, come and get them! I found the Rebel Base."
Listen,
better come. I mean, I get how you hear it.
I think I hear it because as a kid, it's what I heard, but I don't know that that's the case anymore.
As a kid, you need to make sense of it. What is he saying?
It's the second part. Found the Rebel Base.
There you guys have it. That's an actual script. That's a fact.
There you go. I love this.
Chewie needs to quiet the F down.
I also love that just by that one little sound clip, she knew that it was an Imperial probe droid. It's like that's out of the millions of things it could be in the Star Wars universe.
You have to think that's probably what she does with her downtime, right?
Yeah.
Just studying droid linguistics.
Yeah.
She knows over 6 million forms of communication as well.
This is true.
To go back for just a moment, I'd have to say scruffy looking Nerf herder is a whole lot better than when they call him a moof milker in Force Awakens. Like, you know that they were doing moof milker to try to do something like scruffy looking Nerf herder.
That's a perfect Han Solo line too, where he says, "Who's scruffy looking?"
Yeah.
So here it is. This is the first appearance, or the first time that we hear the Imperial March. The first time we see a Super Star Destroyer.
You know,
and now they're playing it on the radio outside of the Star Destroyer. Is that true?
They're blasting it. No one can hear it in space.
Well, technically, it does exist in the world based on Solo.
If you're watching along with us, let us know the first time you saw Empire Strikes Back. Was it in the theater? Was it at home? What was your first memory of this? Or what was your favorite scene when you were a kid? Is it still your favorite scene now? Tell us about it.
The floors of the Star Destroyers, notably not as shiny as they are in the sequel trilogy.
They weren't as careful about it back in the day.
Their best. What are those guys doing down there?
Is
that based on some kind of design?
Is like the Nerf herder is like, it's like an insult, but like we know Han's not like a Nerf herder. It's just like a funny thing. But
no,
like,
he herds Nerfs.
Now we've seen, like maybe have we seen moofs being milked? I guess I don't know that those were moofs in Last Jedi.
I think it's safe to assume that was a moof being milked.
Chris, can we get confirmation from the visual dictionary?
I will look up a moof. Oh, it says explicit. All right.
It just says I have moofs, Greg.
It's from Meet the Skyfockers.
Oh, that's something we should make in quarantine. Good little project.
Okay.
I always find it so condescending that Luke scratches Chewie's ear here.
Okay, well, no mention of moofs in the visual dictionary.
Chris, how many things did we ask you to look
Well,
up in the visual
I
dictionary
think that
they've
would
not
be
been in?
that could actually be kind of telling, because if it's not in the movie, then it's not in the visual dictionary. So we have not seen a moof.
Okay, find out what the thing is that Luke's milking. I gotta know.
Okay. Let's see.
Chris volunteering to like look stuff up for us. is the
If
best
it's
thing
not in the
ever.
visual dictionary, it
Wow.
does not exist.
So handsome.
Ryan, he did Dead Ringers.
The DP?
Yeah, and he also did Existenz, which is a great movie. Spider.
Is it?
The
So
History
he
of
did
Violence.
most of David
Yeah.
Cronenberg stuff, like past
Yeah.
like Videodrome.
Yeah. I don't even think he did Videodrome though.
No, what I'm saying is like after that, like, once Cronenberg was a known person, he did like The Fly,
Yep.
Videodrome.
Yep, most recently Maps to the Stars.
Wow, love it.
Wow.
David, first Empire Strikes Back viewing, TBS dinner and a movie. That
Oh,
I
wow.
actually
Wow.
that takes me back.
Legendary.
recently in
Who was the host of that?
You know what? I don't recall.
I keep thinking Dave Holmes, but that was DVD on TV.
That
Oh,
was
yeah,
the
that's right.
first TBS Dinner and a Movie is the place where I first saw, and I'll never forget watching The Jerk. The TBS Dinner and a Movie with my dad, with Steve Martin. Oh my God.
Oh, nice.
It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. And
But
I mean, obviously I watched other things, but that's the one that sticks out.
During the
Little Grey Bunny,
quarantine,
you
I've
said
actually,
you didn't understand why Luke looked so different. When did you find out about Mark Hamill's Face Off?
But actually, dinner in the movie, I have the dinner in
So-
the movie cookbook with me in quarantine. Have to say, it's more about the comedy than it is about the recipes. So
That's good.
Didn't decide to.
It's
I just
funny
wanna make
how
a
bad the
note.
recipes
I
are.
wanted to make a note about that scene we just saw. He's using the Force very far away, similar to what they do in the sequel trilogy. He's using the Force to
But
choke
Chris,
that guy
nothing in the sequel trilogy makes any sense.
out. Some people say.
Yeah.
Hey,
Chris,
for those-
the main difference, Chris, is that Darth Vader's not a Mary Sue.
Ah.
For those of you just joining us, in case you've just joined watching wherever you may be watching, we're in the middle of Empire Strikes Back early on. But Chris, you got that time code for us so people could sync up?
We're at 24:35 right now.
24:35, beginning the battle on Hoth, where we get to see what has really been one of the most memorable moments when the first AT-AT walkers appear.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. These guys are scary.
I still uphold. I'm still a person that says all the letters.
AT-AT?
I say an AT-AT because I can't say an ATST, so it's like I gotta stay consistent. You know what I mean?
I always like when we see another protocol droid. You know, there's like that pure white one for Hoth. I think there's a Empire one that's all black.
I just thought they cut it a little close to that Rebel cruiser when they're firing past it into the Star
Yeah,
Destroyer.
they really are not cutting their losses there.
You know, if
Man,
were
they
looking
had a
to
lot of
auction
more
off-
money for this movie, dude.
If they're going to auction off anything as a role in a future Star Wars movie, I'd like to be the guy saying, the first transport is away. He's not very excited about it.
Yeah.
I can take on the whole Empire myself. I know it well, Dak.
This is a really cool way to introduce something.
And they do the thing that I feel like you don't get in movies now, when it's like anything that's seen on a view screen now is like super HD and like
Yeah.
looks just
Oh, yeah.
as clear, like it was shot by the same DP who shot the movie. Whereas like that
Mhm.
looked like it actually came from the binoculars. Like there's an internal logic to the world. It's like, no, it's like distorted because they're looking through these binocs.
That's also like that. Those are revolutionary shots. Like you don't think much of them, but like kind of having that POV and that kind of shaky cam, like the idea of taking like war found footage and that kind of stuff and applying it to like this universe is it's pretty newer concept in the medium. Some people say.
Dak needs to steady, you know? Dude's got no steady.
Do you think there was a mad rush on Dak as baby names after this movie?
I mean, it's not everybody you know in middle management named Dak.
I am in a market for a child's name, so I'm putting Dak on the list.
There you go.
I think that's solid.
I think that's a good one.
Dak Ryan, whatever your last name is.
Mike, how much are you offering?
Oh,
I think that he was named after Dex, and it was just a mishearing of the name.
Yeah.
Sam, have you showed off your little Padawan tail
Oh yeah, let's
to the
see
people? Look at this
Guys,
guy.
Quarantine's got me. I enrolled in some online Jedi classes.
Can you just say real quick, just being around her again is exhilarating. Dak's dead. His goggles are up. It's a continuity thing. Let's get to it.
Is Dak the first death of Empire Strikes Back? I mean, you can't call the probe droid's death a death.
Is that Sting?
Wampa.
The guy
Oh,
looks like
Wampa.
Sting.
What
No,
about,
it's at the end of the Last Crusade. It's the Nazi.
Is
Oh
it
my
really?
God. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, and also
How about
for
that?
Game of Thrones fans out there, it's Grand Maester Pycelle, right?
How about that? Oh my God. It's the guy at the end of, it's the Nazi at the end of The Last Crusade.
Who melts himself with the wrong cup.
Just proving yet again that Star Wars is connected to our real world.
Nice flying, Lando.
one more pass?
God, this still looks incredible.
It really does.
I mean, this tow cable, the shot. I'm still on the edge of my seat, not just so I can talk to the microphone.
Whoop, 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 whoop. I mean, I'm not really sure why that brings down the shields, but
That's a
Well,
good
those-
accept the
question.
logic of it.
I like to think there's like a little turbine in the legs that kind of power the shield.
They have like some
I-
kind of clean energy source
Yeah,
in the legs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
I wholeheartedly agree with Bailey. General Veer's the most competent officer in the entire Imperial military. There's no one else.
mhm.
I mean, he's really the only one who doesn't get force choked.
I find something really compelling about like the
Or does he?
it's like there's like a casual panic going where everybody's like moving, but
Yeah.
they're not quite there yet. So everybody's just like, all right, like I still got to do some stuff, but
They
like
have-
they're not here yet.
Exactly.
Well, they've got a lot of confidence in the ability to hold them off.
There's a couple movies like
I don't
that
know
that
why.
there's a Star Trek First Contact has that as well, where it's like they're in the ship, but they're still like they're kind of cool with it. Like the danger is so close to them, but it's still not a threat. It's kind of it's a very neat, unique feeling.
It is a lot of confidence that he just tells Vader to come on down, even though he hasn't destroyed the shield generator yet.
You're fine. Come on, Dan. Don't call me boy, buddy.
I like. Here we go. All right.
That's all. I just want to be that person. That
Here you
goes,
go. Here's our
Whoa.
time code for all of us looking.
Again, I think a great all-in challenge would be to be someone who's killed in a X-wing, an A-wing.
Ah!
Because I mean, if they're auctioning off being eaten by a dinosaur for Jurassic World, I'm pretty sure they could give you
They
the
could.
chance to die in a.
Oh yeah, I
Super-
forgot they're doing that. And you could like play like categories with the Avengers or something.
I would want to go get shawarma with the Avengers. I'd say no, thank you. I won't play the game.
Now, none of us have been to Galaxy's Edge, but the way that they built out these tunnels in Hoth seems to be very similar to the lines on your way to Smuggler's Run, and I appreciate that. I like the level of detail where you can see whatever machine is clawing its way through. It's consistent.
We were literally supposed to go to Galaxy's Edge this weekend.
Oh,
That's true.
That originally planned. This is like a, as Chris says, a peek behind the sausage. The droids were supposed to go to Galaxy's Edge this coming weekend. We don't think it's going to happen.
Guys, I'm actually here. I thought this was gonna be. It's pretty empty.
Should I have done something with my plane ticket?
Oh boy,
Ryan, you always.
I mean, toilet paper is at a shortage right now. So,
Ryan, you
physical
talk about
plane
your
ticket, right?
anxiety, your anxiety and fear of not
Mhm.
getting to the next Star Wars movie. That's the way I feel about whether or not I'll ever make it to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah. Well, we talked about if Star Wars was coming out this year.
How much
And
more
then
time
it
they
got
would have had to
postponed.
fix
It
that
got
movie?
delayed.
That would have been great. I mean, it would have felt terrible at the time, but it would have been great.
But
The
can you
collapse of
imagine
this is
coming
so
out
good.
of quarantine and like
it's so cool.
getting the Rise of Skywalker.
I'm saying if they improved it.
Star Wars has never been consistent with its explosions. Sometimes very small things explode very large. Sometimes very, very large things.
Everybody
Kinda
else feel
just-
like it's very cozy in the cockpit of an AT-AT.
It does feel. I want to know what the AC scenario there is. Who's getting control of that? Captain? Drivers?
I wonder if I'd get motion sickness. I get motion sickness everywhere.
I imagine they'd have some kind of probably leveling, but it doesn't really look like it from that shot, does it?
I've got to assume that the level of motion sickness you'd experience would be unlike anything you've ever felt before and
Yeah.
truly horrible.
I think they're all space travelers. They're probably used to a little more than us. It's like when they do that loop to loop coming up. It's kind of like if I was in a ship and it did that, that would be all I talk about for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I had really bad turbulence once, and I'm still telling that story.
Yeah. This is cool. That poor guy. Imperial base is under attack. Imperial...
He basically looks at the camera.
He is the audience.
Hurry up, Goldenrod, or you're going to be a permanent resident. That's a great line.
Do you think they let
There's a lot
Harrison-
of anachronistic lines in this that work so well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How do they know what Goldenrod is?
Would it help if I got out and pushed?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like it's a reference to something that doesn't exist. Like that's a reference to something that doesn't exist in their world, but it's so funny. I just remember that line used to make my parents laugh, so I was like, that must be like a grown-up thing.
Grown-ups might have cars.
Yeah, one day I might have a car.
Yeah, let's hope you don't have a burnout.
You think Harrison's having more fun in this one or in Return of the Jedi?
This one. He wanted to
Based
be
on
in it.
everyone's cocaine cheeks, I think probably this one. This is a strange moment. Well, first his eyeline doesn't match, which I just think is charming. But then when Luke is getting in his X-Wing, all of a sudden everything's like very cheery right now.
Yes.
You know, they're about 2 miles away. It's fine.
They
It's
escape.
fine.
Like, what is that dude doing? He's like polishing something on the ground.
Yeah.
Get out of there.
Yeah, everyone like there, apparently they don't get the battle report. Like it's pretty bad there.
Yeah, the announcer was killed.
The ultimate bad guy has entered the base.
Hey, Chris.
There we go.
That's a good
How's
point.
that?
But like rebellions run
Looking
on
good.
hope. So maybe
Hey.
try a little optimism. You know.
All right. Dagobah system.
Why hasn't someone built a messenger bot where you can talk to something like R2 and have it respond and translate?
That would be fun. I'm sure somebody.
Sometimes I drive with my dog in the back seat, so we can kind of act like she's an astromech droid.
You open the sunroof so she can kind of pop her head out.
Yeah. Did you not see them?
Shut him
Him
up.
up or
That's a great
shut him
line.
down.
This is the best usage of C3PO in any of the
Not
movies.
according to Anthony Daniels. The best use of C3PO still hasn't come yet. It's on the cutting room floor of every movie he's ever appeared in.
I mean, I would say Duel of the
Look at this
Fates
shit.
is my
This is
favorite
great.
C3PO scenes.
The weight of the Falcon in this is really well done.
Yeah. Just classic L3.
Not my fault.
It's such a shame that The Last Jedi is all about failure, since everything works out in this movie so well.
And really, the whole original trilogy.
No one succeeds at anything in this movie, and no one's
I-
mad about it.
I
And like,
I
nor
love
should
that-
they be. This is an amazing movie. No, there's so much failure in Last Jedi. Everybody's mad about it. And they say that nothing changed because everyone I can't even with this.
This to me is the most dangerous fall of all time. Yep, he's dead. That is brutal.
It is really stark, the contrast between this and A New Hope, just in terms of once you said, Chris, you jump into the action, it
Mhm.
does not feel like you get a breath.
No, yeah. Everything is heightened.
But you love
Look
that
at
it's
this.
not.
This like the weight of
Oh,
this.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Fun fact, you know what those are? Potatoes.
for real?
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that we can still learn things about Star Wars.
yeah. That's on
They
one
don't
of
even
the
have to be true.
one on the special features. Yeah.
Another great theme. There's so many great themes in this.
Yeah. The cast and crew baked them. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what they did with them afterwards, but that explosion is very cool. That has like the lightning animation. Very, very quickly, somebody's like, I got this cool lightning animation. We should put it into the movie because it's in this and then Jedi.
It's all over Jedi.
Yeah, it's like, you could see like some of the green screening here too, which is cool.
That looks like a special edition version of the Falcon. I think that's the first time I've seen a special edition shot. Oh, no, the second time. There was one point where they drop below the Star Destroyers, and it's like 3 spins that the Falcon does.
It's the only time I noticed is when that guy on the radio is like, the Imperial base, McClunky.
I always love how much they show how good of a pilot Han is by showing like how close he's cutting the Falcon in the thing.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's his move, right?
So that little trill
little
where it goes
Yeah.
in The Last Jedi, right? Or they go into the Mind Zone crate when it goes into like music from A New Hope in the TIE fighters.
Mm-hmm.
He uses that same trill
Oh, that's cool.
as the Falcon is literally flying upside down and into a tunnel, and then goes into a different theme. That's the genius of John Williams. Is this not blowing people's minds? Sorry, everybody.
I love it.
I mean,
layered.
Everything
Yes.
about John Williams blows my mind. So.
Yeah, but your mind was supposed to be blown at like my perception.
Ryan, I can't even comprehend what you just said, so I just can't interpret it or react. It's oh boy, he's meeting this guy.
I'll be right back. I'm getting some movie snacks.
Nice.
I also, speaking of coziness, and we think about the coziness in the AT-AT cockpit, I always felt like even though you knew and you felt this was a set, there was a bit of a coziness to Dagobah.
Mm-hmm.
Once he dried off from being in the swamp.
I think I saw. Well, you watched these movies really young. I don't know, man. I think like Empire was the one that took the longest to grow on me, and I don't think that's necessarily surprising. I think it's it's the darkest and in a lot of ways the most mature of the original trilogy stories. But like I think the first time I saw it, I mean, I definitely saw it on VHS at some point at my friend Alec's house. Shout out to Alec. But then I think like this was the one that I went to see in theaters when they did the like 97 re-release or whatever, special editions. And it like I mean, it's slow here. Like this part didn't like land for me, and I don't know if I was a little too young when that. I mean, but I would have been. I think I'd have been old enough to appreciate it, but I didn't. I liked the adventure of Return of the Jedi and the green lightsaber, and so I don't know.
I loved it at 8 years old. I think it also, for those who've not listened to the pod before, my first experience with Star Wars was watching all three of the original trilogy in one night at a sleepover when I was 8 years old.
Oh.
To just flip this on after having watched the first movie,
Yeah.
I was, totally caught up in every moment. And there was such dread by watching this bit. I had no idea not only what was in the swamp, but what he was going to come across. I just felt uncomfortable most of this whole sequence until we start to have the moment where things are kind of brought down by Yoda and more comfort level there. I guess what's the term that you would say for the way Poe interacts with Kylo at the beginning of The Force Awakens?
Like a tension breaker?
It's a tension breaker. I feel like there's another way to describe it too, but yeah, tension breaker.
Where he undercuts him.
It's all disarming, I guess, at that point.
Yeah.
The comedy is disarming.
Oh man.
This is the first Star Wars movie that I have seen, or I had seen at the time. Sorry, this is the first Star Wars movie that I've seen. This is the first Star Wars movie that I ever saw, and we watched it right after The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it came up a little bit before the Hoth battle, and so I had no idea what was going on.
This movie, after The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, this movie moves.
Yeah, exactly. There could have been
You were like, oh, so these two movies are where Quentin Tarantino gets everything.
Yeah, exactly. I found his mana. But I remember though, it took me probably until I was like 14 or 15 to essentially not 2 times speed some of the Yoda scenes. I think when I was a little kid, those were always the ones that I lost patience for the quickest.
I don't want to throw shade at John Boyega for like the comments he's made. I know he got like a lot of shit about that, but it's weird how Mark Hamill only recently started being like, yeah, making Empire Strikes Back was difficult because I was separated from everybody else and I was in a swamp the whole time, because he was like, the movie was good and whatever. And John Boyega waited like 6 months and was like, yeah, I didn't like that movie because I wasn't with my friends.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Well, who knows if Mark Hamill would have had Twitter back in 1980.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
He would have been equally.
I just said we only found out. I'm sure he was telling anybody who would listen.
Bailey
it's
again.
Like Luke loves his hands. Luke loves his hands. He would never let anything happen to them.
Anybody who's looking for a little bit more Droids content out there, Bailey put together a bracket of live action droids, including Chopper because he's in Rogue One, and then DJ Rex because he's the best, of course, and I can't wait to see him at Galaxy's Edge. But check out the comment and the link that's there within the live comment feed here on the live stream on Facebook. Always got to have more droid content. And the droid list just is now endless. There are so many prominent droids, background droids. I don't know. I think we've said it before on the podcast. I default to R2 being my favorite droid. A little bit disappointed he doesn't have a bigger role in the sequel trilogy. But I think, there's a lot to choose from.
OBGYN droid. For a second I was like, that can't mean what I think it means, but it is exactly what it means.
Ooh, boo. Ooh,
it's the one that's like,
oh,
yeah, you're okay.
Yeah.
Wait, is that actually the name of that droid?
I mean, you're gonna have to ask Bailey. David.
I love that you can buy the ration pack that he has in this
Mhm.
at Galaxy's Edge. I will use that as my lunch.
Can you really?
Yeah.
every day from
Yep.
now on whenever I get to Galaxy's
Does
Edge.
it have a little breadstick in it? Because that's
Yep.
what
It
I
does.
always thought it.
I always
He's eating
thought
a
it,
breadstick, right?
I always thought it was a cold hot dog, Ryan.
Biscotti. It's biscotti.
Disgusting.
This guy.
I for
I
some reason
can't unsee that, and that's gross.
that's all I've ever wanted to eat.
Yoda's little puppet fingers dip into a can of Vienna sausages.
I don't know. I always thought it was a
This is
breadstick.
like one of the best character scenes, like in terms of establishing a character.
I'll tell you
I
what,
think I've ever seen.
as a boy, Yoda got me hook, line, and sinker.
that crunch. It feels a little bit more like a granola bar, or
It's
a
like
chocolate
have you ever
covered
had one of
pretzel.
those one of those dry like sesame breadsticks,
Oh yeah,
like at a
Oh,
diner?
yeah.
yep,
Okay.
yep. Or like an Olive Garden breadstick. If
You
it's
ever had
out,
like a really
out it-
crunchy? You
if
ever eat
it's
a
out
frozen
in-
hot dog still frozen?
You get that nice frozen hot dog crunch. There you go. Famously replaces the CGI Yoda in this version. I like how
This is one of the best jackets in Star Wars. Luke's like casual like camping gear. Oh boy, I'd get this outfit in a heartbeat.
I thought you were gonna say Yoda's tattered robe. I love the walking effect. They do a very good job. I think something very technical is happening here that goes unwrapped is that like we see Luke's feet a lot, but we never see Yoda's feet.
Mhm.
So the
except when he
shots
was up on the log.
right, but I mean like it's very deliberate when we do. So I think like most Muppet movies you just kind of see them like
Yeah. How cute is this? His little hiney up in the air.
like right there, that's great. It makes
This
him
flashlight
feel
bit.
so much more real.
Also,
Also-
he says, and what the prequels give this so much more meaning, where he says, "War does not make one great."
Yeah, yeah.
He was a general.
Also, he used to live in like the most metropolitan area in the universe,
Mhm.
in the galaxy. He's being
Well,
impressed by a
He
flashlight.
left during the pandemic.
Yeah, yeah,
Chris,
Yeah,
after
do you
your
think he-
greatest failure, wouldn't you want to get away?
that's true. But I wouldn't forget what a flashlight is.
But I actually think he's
Nah,
doing a role
yeah.
here. He's doing
He's
a
kind of
bit.
he's doing a little bit.
Oh,
I can- yeah.
You guys think
Yeah.
he like?
He's a mischievous dude. Like he always has been, like a little bit of a mischievous guy.
Yeah, but he doesn't remember R2. Or does he remember R2?
I'm sure he does. He knows who Luke is.
How much time did he spend with R2?
I mean, like he
Yeah.
would know, like that was Anakin's droid.
Oh yeah. Love the
It
ears.
is amazing to think that in the prequels all of those characters like met, but in this series Yoda only meets one new person. It's kind of crazy.
Bailey, thank you for joining us. Totally got to get back to work. Work is important. Live streams on the May the 4th, more important, but we all have to pay the bills.
What? What?
Hey, thank you for joining us. May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, thanks for joining. I was gonna be critical of you leaving, but that's just not nice, so I'm not gonna do it.
Sam, you seem distracted, and why is that? What are you doing there, buddy?
Well, I'm working on a little something. I don't know. I'm gonna keep working at it, you guys, because this one's
Okay, all right.
This one needs a little work.
Oh, very
Ooh,
nice.
That's cool.
And that's just
Is
an
that the
image.
scene from the Rise of Skywalker where you finally lifted out
Yeah.
of the swamp?
It's it's a scene that always felt incomplete to me.
Yeah.
But of course I'll have
This
to
is
replace it.
some of the best right here.
Just worth noting, C-3PO is talking to L3 right now.
I think that's some of the best Han dialogue right there.
Hey, look,
Doesn't C-3PO also say like that the Falcon has like an attitude?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
All right, so worth noting, listen, we're here for love. Worth noting that there is a problematic aspect of this scene. I just feel like it'd be foolish for us
there's-
not to bring
the
it
whole
up.
relationship is, it's a different. Yeah, it doesn't age.
This is
perfectly.
this is a relic of a time that it's a relic of the time that it was made.
Do you just mean that go
this
into
idea of like he's pursuing her, she's rejecting his advances, and he just keeps advancing until she accepts his advantage. Obviously, we know that she's in love with him, so it's not like, it's romantic, but there is like an aspect where if you saw this in a movie now, you'd probably be like, ew. But it is Harrison Ford, so
Aren't enough scout. Oh, say it to me. Say it to me.
I mean, she does come forward for the kiss.
No, I'm not saying that the scene. I'm just saying I think it should be acknowledged that there is a problematic aspect to it.
C-3PO.
Got a lot of time to fill. I'm a Han and Leia stan.
Oh, there you
I
go.
love that guy just disappears.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. It's that guy just, I believe the correct term is biffs it.
Wow, 52 minutes in. This movie does fly.
Yeah.
Move the ship out of the asteroid field.
I also love that we see the Superstar Destroyer. Like the scope of things is so massive already. Then it's just like, look at this thing. Did they add that little lighting effect in the back of it? Is that a new thing?
I don't know. Be a
I don't
weird
know
thing,
if
man.
I mean, here's a new thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, it is?
No, this was in the movie. But
No, but
you mean how they put Ian McDiarmid in?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, it went through a few phases.
In the original, it was literally just like two eyes under a hood.
It was two eyes on a monkey's face.
It was a chimpanzee's eyes superimposed on an old woman's face in a hood.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
I'm looking up the original.
Yeah.
With I forget who did the voice. Clive Revel, I believe, did the voice.
Yeah. And then it was Ian McDiarmid again, but I think it didn't look quite like the Emperor that we like. They redid it twice, I believe.
In the original trilogy, I don't feel like there was ever a hint of red in the lenses of Darth Vader. But as time has gone on, and you see it in Rogue One, you see it in Clone Wars, red has become a much more prominent color in the lens.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of these things these latest editions did was kind of readjust the white balance. So I think that's probably one of the colors that would have come through.
It's basically just balanced for like the mathematically most pleasing like red blue.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
like that you can get.
It's as filmic as possible.
I mean, let him in. R2 doesn't need to be soaked down to the circuits.
This used to bother me so much because like just as a kid when you have electronics, like the number one thing is like, don't put it in the sink.
I never noticed that you could actually see R2 in the window. That's adorable.
Is that a new feature? Is that a new feature?
Maybe.
No, I bet you it's been there.
Wow, that is
amazing.
You know
what? Now that like the special editions have been around for so long that we can't see the originals, there's like, it doesn't bother me nearly as much because it's like there's shots that I'm like when you said, oh, that's a special edition shot of the Falcon. Right before that, I thought that's a really good looking shot for this movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is that it actually is in no way cumbersome or takes you out of the film in Empire and Return of the Jedi. It does in A New Hope.
Oh, it takes me out of the film Return of the Jedi when they do an entire musical sequence. With
the musical, of course. How could I forget the musical sequence? I can't wait for all of us to watch that.
I listen to the soundtracks a lot while I'm working because they're nice and content for a work day. That song pops in. I'll tell you what.
That
really
song slaps.
Really gets you motivated. Oh, Yoda's got the operator of this. At some points, is Frank Oz the operator always?
Yes.
Sometimes he kind of pulls Yoda's head up, and his jawline goes down real far.
Well, yeah, and what's really interesting is they had to animate. Like if you watch the special edition of, I guess, Attack of the Clones when they first did the CGI one, they have to animate what it looks like when someone's fingers pinch on his mouth.
That's funny.
Like they were like when his lips go together, it like pinches back. Like
it makes like a little
yeah.
Oh, that makes so much sense. I also heard the ear warble. They kind of they worked on.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how many man hours were spent just on Yoda in its various forms? You have them in the Clone Wars. You have them in this. You have them in people's livelihoods were built on designing and keeping
On this
Yoda.
little green guy.
Yeah, this little green guy. It's pretty amazing.
So I just want to put it out there for everyone who's joining us right now. The invite's been placed. Mark Hamill been asking him to join. So look forward to having him here on shortly. Chris, if we do get a response, you need to be lickety split on that Zoom ID.
Oh, I'm there.
Chris will crumble.
Yeah. Oh, I will literally just be a puff of smoke, and you'll see the outline of me in my chair.
You're gonna run through your chair, not the wall.
Yeah. Just in case people are wondering, we still are live on Instagram. Here's a live view of that. If you ever wondered what all of our shoulders look like,
Really technical feat we're
a
undergoing
technical
right now.
marvel.
Wait,
Yeah,
which
we
way
are
do you want us to lean?
should-
To the right?
Hey, Ryan, it's hard to tell because there's one distinct version of the screen. It's very hard to tell. Ryan,
direction
any action on the Twitch channel? Just to remind you, we do
No
have
comments
a Twitch.
so far. We are
All
on the
right.
Twitch
All right.
.tv/droidspod, but
Nice. Hey, sometimes it just feels good to be there. I love this. Downtime in the Falcon. It's like when you're in the car waiting for someone to get done with the dentist and it's raining out. It's that cozy feel.
specific, but yeah.
Yeah, right?
I think I've
Or
come
like sitting in the
this is-
driveway where you just go, I just want to hear the rest of this song.
Yeah.
This is my coziest Star Wars movie.
Oh,
I
for
agree.
sure. The most inside stuff, and I'm an indoor boy. What are they, Minox, right? Outside?
Yeah.
Man, when they're outside, they really do some tilty camera acting. They're like, whoa.
Yeah. Also, this is why you have droids. Send C3PO out there.
The Minox will chew on his wires.
Sacrifice C3PO.
Yes.
Hashtag sacrifice C3PO.
Yeah.
It's a
Get the-
pretty good plan, Chris. I think
Get
that
the
should be
get the
implemented.
bottom gun going and get C3PO out there.
I always like these masks. Like, it's kind of a cool thing. Like, they don't go the full space helmet
Yeah.
route.
Yep. Well, those masks probably filter out toxins. Actually, they do, don't they? Isn't that what they put on in when they jump in
do.
that hole? Yeah.
They do. Would you want that hashtag to be, Ryan? Sacrifice C3PO?
Hashtag sacrifice C3PO.
All right, it's live. It's out there.
Golden sacrifice.
That's your 50th sacrifice.
I love that he's also, as we know in Jedi, he's recording the sound of these these Minox and this whole scenario.
Well, I think he records everything he experiences.
I guess he must, yeah. He's a narc droid.
I think the hard drive space he's got in there.
Yeah, right. He's it's not going up to the cloud. We know that from Rogue One. None of that stuff works.
The committee.
That's always a funny tie-in that I always forget about.
Committee.
Look at all this
Committee.
tilting cameras.
I don't have time to
Back then,
stand
they
here
didn't
while
have
we
a-
debate this in committee. My people are dying.
Wow. I think
Oh, so good.
Space Worm.
Oh, it's like me and those junior
man.
movies. you know?
He's so sad. There's always a bigger fish. Love that. Love this shot.
That's some great matte painting.
Yep.
There's
Look at
something
that.
so cozy to me about matte painting. Like, it's like, I understand it doesn't look real. You know what I mean? But it's like stop motion where it doesn't look real. I just like
Mhm.
how it looks.
I think I'm a broken record on this, but some of it is just being like, as a kid, I never thought of it as not real. I just thought that was the way
Yeah.
things looked. I thought,
Well,
wow.
that's the thing too, is that it allows your imagination to fill in the blanks a little bit, so
Yeah.
it doesn't like uncanny valley itself. You're just like, no, that's what this world looks like. You don't know that it's like a painting or whatever.
I mean, I keep on trying to enter paintings, but nothing lets me in. So
I need to trim my beard. Sorry, I'm looking now.
Oh.
I got quarantine beard going right now.
I did it to
My
this
face
morning.
is not this big.
That's kind of what happened to me, Ryan. One of my coworkers asked me what was going on, and I was like, I saw myself in the Zoom call. I was like, ah.
My face is big, but it's not this big.
While we're looking at ourselves, I know this is not good for our listeners eventually, but I'm wearing a shirt for Star Wars Day. It's kind of a South Park crossover.
Oh, how about that?
What I love about it too, it says 2002. Shout out to my my sister and brother-in-law giving this to me for a birthday present a while back.
In 2002?
Yeah, maybe. I think around that time. Busted it out for May the 4th. Caught some of the TBS marathon today also. So this might be the second time I've watched this movie today.
I'll be right back.
Oh.
You know, it's one of my favorite Halloween costumes I've ever done was Luke and Yoda training with my, at the time, I think 4-month-old.
Wow.
But I have to say, I always am self-conscious of the fact that I could not pull off that shirt and the way that he had the cut off sleeves. Because
here's the thing, Mike. There are very few people on this planet that could pull off that shirt.
He is surprisingly like 80s ripped in this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's more muscular than you'd think.
The 80s ripped his face off.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. There it is.
Is he wearing? Is that a jumpsuit?
Yeah, I think it is a one piece.
Is it? They always.
That's cozy. That's a big snake.
Oh, all right.
Or whatever it's called.
We've run out of time on the live stream, so we're out of time. But
wait, what?
I'm sorry, on the Instagram live stream.
Oh.
sorry. Wow, hey, that's live for you, baby. Behind the sausage. Our Instagram live stream has ended. There is a time limit there. They can only contain so much awesomeness at one time. So, if you,
Chris, how'd we do over there?
Hey, we got it was on there. So we do it for the tech. Don't worry.
It was on there.
Yeah. More of a technical.
There's a lot of counter programming going on. Kevin Smith is doing his own commentary right now.
It was a lot just to
what's
prove
he watching?
This movie.
It was a lot to prove that we could do it, and we can. So expect
Sam showing us his shoes.
Ooh.
There it is.
X-Wing.
I haven't worn shoes in months.
I haven't seen one of those. Those are amazing. Are those inspired by a particular movie or just X-Wings in general?
Just X-Wings in general, I'll say. I don't know.
Very cool. Who makes that shoe?
That's the Adidas Ultra Boosts 19, I believe.
Wow. Now you're wearing those to run in?
I don't run in these, but I have run in Ultra Boosts. Look, free plug for Adidas, one of our sponsors.
Hey,
by far the most comfortable walking around sneakers I've ever owned. I now have 3 pair or 4 pair that I like bought while they were on sale. They make a Millennium Falcon one. They make a Yoda one.
You know, if you're looking to insights on Star Wars, we have to offer here. Oh,
there it is.
Yeah, making his way through. Oh, wow.
This the head cut was often cut for television.
Was it?
Yeah. A lot.
So the first time you saw it, you didn't see the head cut?
I did not see the head.
But you saw it on the ground.
So this part, I think it cut to like this or something, but you didn't see the head rolling.
But a little known fact is Luke Skywalker's first choice for an X-Wing shoe was not Adidas. He was a Nike guy. And went with Adidas. For those of you who've watched The Last Dance, that is a Last Dance joke. Michael Jordan.
Wear Nikes. They're too narrow. My feet are too wide. You got these big old wide feet.
So what you're saying is if you were playing at the Garden, your feet would have been bleeding.
What I'm saying is I could have been Michael Jordan if I could just wear those shoes.
Wait, is this scene a special edition scene?
So some of the dialogue is.
Okay, because I thought there was more.
Boba Fett, I believe, does not speak in the original.
Doesn't he say no disintegrations? And he goes like, "Arr." Or no, you're right. I think he's speechless.
Now, in our ad for today, I asked some
1988.
folks who was their favorite bounty hunter and why. And I bet you're gonna be shocked with the results. Jason says Boba Fett because his backpack got jets. I think that's a reference to the MC Chris song.
He's Boba the Fett. He
Yep,
bounty hunts for Jabba Hutt to finance
his vet.
his vet.
We have May the 4th be with you, a picture of a Millennium Falcon taped to the front of a car. That's that's pretty awesome. It looks like the Kenner toy. That's amazing. And
That thing's worth money.
Jake says Boba Fett because he's so badass looking. So thank you for responding in there. And May the 4th be with all of you.
Chris, who's your favorite bounty hunter?
I'm gonna go with the IG-88 because he was so hard to beat on Shadows of the Empire. I got newfound respect for him.
I like maybe my favorite now, Mandalorian. What's the Mandalorian's real name?
Din Djarin.
I was gonna say
Din Djarin.
Steve.
Djarin. I finally hardly know him.
I just spit take Ryan for
We're,
it.
Nice.
you know, I
Mhm.
was thinking, Ryan, along similar lines that I was like, maybe IG-11.
Oh, that's so. Yeah, I went with IG-88. I meant
No, I know.
I could
Speaking
have.
of which,
yeah.
big news about Taika
Oh,
Waititi
yeah.
today.
Who?
IG-11 will be directing a Star Wars film. Do you think it's going to be an IG-11 film?
That'd be great.
That could be
I-
cool.
I wouldn't. I mean, he'll probably cast himself in it somewhere, right?
Oh, he will.
I mean, he should.
Which is great.
And every single role he's ever played in his films has been fantastic. The priest in Hunt for the Wilder People. What was it? Korg in Avengers.
Yeah.
Or in Thor Ragnarok. I love his character and What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh my god, yeah, so funny.
Okay,
Here we
so
go.
again,
Just
I
stacking
know we're
rocks.
talking the difference between CGI and actual practical effects, but those rocks look so much better than the floating rocks around Rey and the Rise of Skywalker, and then her eventual clear wire act flying back down to the earth.
Mhm.
They just there was
It's
a
hard, yeah.
attention and care in this that just
And in the
It-
seeming bipartisan, also the floating rocks in the Last Jedi.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. That's
Yeah.
also there's
Of
something
course, that's
weird.
at the tail end of a dope ass movie that pushes Star Wars in directions we never could have dreamed. So we're willing to let it go.
But
Yeah.
there are, I think there is something weird about floating. This is not. It sounds like coping mechanics, floating mechanics, in movies. Like Superman has never been quite right. It's really, really hard to do, other than seeing something actually float in the air, because things don't just float in the air, so no one knows what it looks like.
I remember thinking it was one of the best like sort of flight like flying in movies is Iron Man, I think, like in
Yeah.
08, like the
Yeah.
first Iron Man. And then I remember like after that when Man of Steel came out and then when like subsequent Iron Man
Yeah.
movies came out, I was like, it always looks worse than that
Yeah.
first one.
Well, that's like, yeah, it's there's something.
It's because
strange.
you don't have Tom Morello knocking out on guitar during it.
anybody else feel like these few moments here on Dagobah impacted a large portion of their life and maybe changed the direction of who they were as a person?
Yeah, I would say. I would say the.
Yeah, I realized that if I was ever bettered by anyone on screen, that I'd be angry about it. I said, if Luke can't do this, no one can, and I'll accept no others. Then thank God a year ago when Luke finally lifted that X-Wing out.
You can now watch movies in a whole new light, Ryan.
Yeah, I could stop being afraid that, they're going to have a new character lift the X-Wing out of the pond. Who was that guy that was mad because he was saying if Ahsoka beat Darth Maul, he was going to be mad at Dave Filoni? Do you remember that video? He kept kissing his hands and doing the middle finger.
Not this crude matter.
Do you think Yoda would run a successful ASMR YouTube channel?
Successful?
Do you think it'd be unsuccessful?
I mean, he
Just
wouldn't
saying,
know.
I think he'd do just about anything. He doesn't have a lot going on.
I love this.
God, to think about, we're talking about failure here, and then we talk about it again in The Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
It's like these movies had themes.
Yeah, when he's kind of naming the rocks, the stuff, it reminds me of the cuts in Last Jedi where he's like, "Life, what do you see?" That kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's very, very cool paralleling.
Not to take it in a negative direction, but Sam Witwer, the voice of Maul, came out saying that he didn't like The Last Jedi because he didn't feel like the filmmaker did his homework on Star Wars. Whew, couldn't be more wrong statement than I've heard about that movie.
Whatever. That idiot like also it's like he thought he had a role in Mandalorian that like wasn't cast. He was asked to audition, and he called Filoni directly to turn it down and was like, look, I just think it'd be distracting, and Filoni like had no idea. I'm not listening to the guy voices Darth Maul on a TV show.
I love Yoda here, or R2 rather, getting like super excited with his beeps.
R2's seen it all.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I tried to time this.
Oh,
Calling this
baby.
one done.
Oh, baby.
Wow, there it is.
Wow. That's
Wonderful
beautiful.
timing. Bravo, Sam.
What is it?
At this point, Luke should be pretty upset. He should be like, "My ship, it has all this stuff on it. Get it off." See that?
Luke Skywalker doesn't fail.
There's a
He doesn't fail.
There's
you
there's a sinister tone there.
It's like, oh, and then followed with this.
Also, a comical amount of scenes in this movie begin with people choking and dying.
Yeah, it does. It's like in Interstellar, where Michael Caine reads that Dickens poem like one too many times.
Yeah, exactly. I love the conversation of those people over there. Like, what are they talking about? Did he
nothing.
I think he just choked. No, he didn't.
Did I miss it? Did Veers die?
Yeah, he blew up on the AT-AT.
Oh, his AT-AT blew up?
Yeah.
Oh,
All
okay.
the AT-ATs blew up, right?
Well, but they took out the shield generator and then they all escaped. I didn't feel like they shot down every
Sam,
AT-AT.
rumor has it there's one still walking around out there all by itself. And on a cold night,
Big
with
Joe and the Phantom AT-AT. I'll pull up a chair. I want to
this
tell you a
blew
story about
my
Big
mind.
Joe.
As a kid, it just makes so much sense. It's like, how can the radar see him if he's connected? This has to be pulled from some kind of old war story. Like, how can you be that clever?
How can you be that clever?
It's so cool. I love this idea. Nice little Dutch angle there. Get them all in the scene. Chewie's too tall.
Literally turns him off.
Kind of like a few people on this live stream.
Lando system.
Yeah, you're surprised that the ship doesn't like beep in some sort of recognition when the Lando system comes
Little
up.
Grey Bunny, thank you. The musical cue when Luke lifted the X-Wing was Yoda's theme. Why was it Yoda's theme? Rey hasn't even met Yoda. She doesn't even know who Yoda is.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's for all of the old guys in the audience that were so upset. It wasn't for the characters. It wasn't for people who cared about Rey. It was for people who were upset that Luke never got to lift that X-Wing.
So actually, this is a good question. So should we, do people want us, should we cover Rise of Skywalker live? Should we do a live watch? Could we even get
we're doing it.
I mean, we're going to get there at some point.
We're in.
Well, we've said it before. That's going to be the one where we start at least 8 drinks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do an after hours one. We really should do one where we can like curse and stuff. So like, maybe don't bring the kiddies to that one. Or let them learn some things. They need to learn about life. They need to learn about disappointment.
Man, it was such a smart move that nobody would have thought of except for one other person.
Yeah, the best. That's why you get the best in the biz.
The baby regular speed growing clone of the best bounty hunter there ever was.
Love the design of his ship, the Slave One, I believe it's
Love the
called.
design
Slave
of it.
One.
Hate the name. Really
Yeah,
bothers me.
Name is not that good,
Yeah.
but the design.
I was
though,
uncomfortable even saying it just then.
Yeah, yes.
No, I
was
know.
hoping, I was hoping one of you would have said it. But I think to have that kind of like idea that ships can be any shape in space, it doesn't really matter.
We got to give a big shout out here to longtime listener Nicole, who is doing some nice work for us on Twitter, asking Mark Hamill to join, Ryan Johnson, his thoughts on bounty hunters. Nicole,
Oh,
thank you as always.
thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Also,
Thank you, Nicole.
Hamill
Whoever
did.
that is.
Hamill did get
I was saying,
in
yeah.
good shape for this.
I think you stepped out. Yeah, he's like ripped in this
Oh,
movie.
did I? That was when I was gone.
He's
Yeah.
like 80. He's like 80s ripped.
he is 80s ripped. He is
Yeah.
exact. He is
Like Clint Eastwood and the Mule.
Yeah.
vaguely
80s ripped.
vaguely Michael Bean ish of Terminator, The
Yeah.
Abyss, and Aliens fame.
Yeah.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah. Whoever there must
He
have
looks
been
like every cast member. He looks like the same level of fitness as everybody in the movie Near Dark.
there must have had the one Hollywood trainer.
Wait, sorry. This is Sam. You've never seen Near Dark?
No.
Catherine Bigelow's vampire movie from 1987. Whoo, whoo. It's a good.
Is that done in Dracula's voice?
That was Mario. That was drunken Mario. Mario.
Mario.
Luigi
Um,
Mario.
Luigi Mario.
Mario, and Luigi Mario.
Is Dracula in that movie? I've never seen it. I've seen trailers.
Dracula is in that movie. You've never
Okay.
seen the Mario Brothers movie?
No, that's what I mean. Is Dracula in the Mario Brothers movie? No.
Oh, you asking about Near Dark?
Near Dark.
No,
yeah.
it is a vampire movie, but
Okay.
Dracula, the
Is that-
vampire, does not
is
make an
that-
appearance.
I think he should be in every vampire movie.
That
Oh,
if every time you watch one, you're like, maybe this will be the one he's not in.
I just think it'd be cool. Continuous story. I love these little side by side ships. They seem so unnecessary. What is the purpose? Then?
Yeah, and like, who's the leader? You know,
Yeah.
who's
What
the
is-
sidecar and who's the
Yeah.
main?
Who's on first?
So this is probably when we talk about special editions coming up is probably the most noticeable changes. And
Yes, you're right.
I think it's for the honestly, I think it's for the better. It kind of expands this universe a little bit. Apparently, also fun fact, was it most not Mustafar?
Oh.
Where are they
Yeah.
at in Rebels?
The fall.
Lafal is below Bespin.
Oh, really?
I believe so. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I
Hmm.
believe Lafal is below Bespin.
Like it's below the planet. Like
Yeah.
it's the ground of Cloud City.
I believe so.
So where I think the special editions made a mistake was that, and I understand that like the mission statement was to use modern technology to update it, but obviously the thing is that it sticks out like a sore thumb. If they wanted to enhance it, I think what would have been interesting, and what they could still do now, is if they used modern technology to make it look like the special effects of the time, but they expanded everything. So it's just like adding budget essentially.
So
I'm trying to follow
fa-
just to like
trying-
add more. Like you want like little additional moments and scenes, but like in the style of how
Match
they
the
would've-
aesthetic, yes, as opposed to making it like this is a 2005 special effect in a 1980 movie.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Like
to
it's like if
fact
they
check myself.
recreated the chess scene in stop motion, like stuff like that.
Sure.
You could use computers.
Man, I think that of all the locations in Star Wars, I do think that.
Thank you, Little Great Bunny.
I think that Cloud City is probably the one I'd want to visit the most.
Really?
You've always wanted to go to an occupied city, huh?
I've always wanted to experience it. I feel
Again,
like
not Principal Strickland. For anyone thinking it is, it's not.
No, it 100% is. I think he's just uncredited.
He said no smuggler made it in the history of Cloud City.
So are we to assume the last time they saw each other was the Sabacc game?
I
Well, I
guess.
think we're to assume that the
Or
last
the
time
unmade
they saw each
Solo
other, is in the unfilmed sequel.
However long
or Disney
that
Plus
franchise was
or
willing to go.
Disney Plus series potentially.
They should do an animated Scoundrels series.
Oh
Um,
man, did I send it to you guys? There's an artist. I'll have to look up. I'll get his name before the end of this. There's an artist who did a series of posters, inspired by like the Calrissian Chronicles idea, and so he made posters that featured Billy D. Williams as a star that would have been made in the mid to late '80s. That was a
Oh, I
trilogy
saw
of movies
those.
about
They,
Lando.
yeah, they looked
They were
incredible.
so rad because they were painted just like those Drew Struzan style, like hand
mhm.
painted posters. I'll find them and we'll throw up a link.
All right, I was wrong. I did a little fact checking. Apparently, so Lando was in an episode of Rebels where they took place on Lothal.
Oh, that's right. I do recall that episode.
Yes.
What's he say here? Ichuba. What's Ichuba?
I think we all know what that means.
Oh, Mike, you don't know?
How
I
embarrassing.
think he's telling him to eat something. Maybe poodoo.
Once again, a droid noise sounds more like actual English.
This again is one of those things that you mentioned earlier in the film, Ryan, where it's like being so close to danger.
Yes.
Like it's another theme of this where you're not quite sure. Excuse me. I moved the chair up. It sounded loud in here.
So the artist who did those posters, for anybody, his name is Peter Stultz, Stults, and he's at Stultsified on both Twitter and Instagram. And it's not too far back if you go to his Instagram that you can find. I'll hold one up to the camera. This isn't, I mean, you should look for yourself, but you know, these are like, I think he
very
does
cool.
them digitally,
Yeah.
but they're like Calrissian Chronicles. He casts them with all stars of the time. Like I feel like Pam Grier and Jean-Claude Van Damme show up, and it's like really great.
Interesting.
Another mention of failure.
It's been like 3 days. How much did you learn?
One of the most
Kind of a
beautiful
mix, too.
shots coming up. It's also always interesting to me that Force Ghost technology looks like the digital light technology of projecting themselves.
Well, you have to remember that these Jedi were working to like learn this new skill, and all they had to base it on was like what they were seeing on, you know, on the
Right.
bridges of,
It's fair.
you know, what became.
Maybe
Star
they could look
Destroyers.
like people, but they were like, it'll freak them out.
Destroyers.
So they added distortion.
I love that
Hmm.
little cargo hold under there.
Classic Hamill acting right there.
Where does
What,
Yoda
where he puts his
say?
hand on something and like really leans forward.
Where does Yoda say? You know, your mind never where you are, what you are doing. Is that when he was in the?
That's when he's in the hut.
Yeah. That's
He's talking about
that's-
Anakin
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
that's
it
when
could
he's-
be.
It's when he pokes him with the cane in the
Yeah,
belly.
he says
Yeah.
his mind was never where he was, what he was doing. He's talking about Anakin.
I think that's contextually convenient now, and it works. I
Well,
don't know.
he's like saying like you have the same faults as him.
Yeah.
But,
But yeah,
he's
it's like-
direct, like literally talking about
yeah,
Anakin.
yeah,
but it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
obviously
It's what
drawing parallels.
one sentence. This is the most beautiful lighting of any scene in all of cinema.
Yeah,
the brake lights.
Watch this.
right there.
The light side.
There is another.
The dark side.
Oh, oh man.
It's
Yeah,
it's
it's well done.
beautiful, and it's
Chills,
like
baby. Chills.
does
Guys, Star Wars
so.
is freaking cool.
So I mean, one way you could take that with the red light is that Vader potentially is the other hope in that scenario of him turning and defeating the Emperor at that moment.
So this tier is very added.
Yes, yes. I remember there was a picture on the
Oh,
Star Wars
Look at that,
website.
Jack. Wait, sorry,
Oh,
Jack.
go for
Talk. Look at this.
Get in there.
This
Look
is like
at this
peak Solo
silhouette.
to me.
Look at this silhouette. His hair, his height.
Everybody's Look in Cloud City is probably my favorite of all of the looks. Like Chewie, when Luke shows up, I like his look. Leia's hair
Yeah.
is dope as hell.
Honestly, Leia, yeah, I don't. This is an under remembered or under celebrated Leia
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
I do think my favorite Leia hair actually might be in Hoth. It like makes more sense, you know.
Yeah,
They get a little close to like almost 80s clothing.
There's something though. I will just say, like, not that it's I don't know. It's not the best look. It's not my favorite look, but her initial, her first appearance, the white gown, the bun braids, it is so, retro pop 50s sci-fi, like cover of a pulp novel that there's something that is like it. I mean, it tells you so much instantly when you see any of these characters in the first movie. You know exactly who they are, and I kind of agree that they all look a little cooler here, but their stories and characters are defined on their first appearance, and that's a testament to Macquarie.
I love that Chewie thinks Chewie could like repair him, but I guess he does work on ships.
I love that in this movie.
Look at the size of his hands.
Jeez Louise. Family show, Sam. But we're all family. I feel like R-rated just looking at Harrison Ford. But Chewie is so sad in Cloud City because Chewie, like, it's just like he immediately knows something's fishy.
He saw something, it's not right. The action figure I believe that I had, or my brother had back in the day, was the Chewbacca from Empire, and it came with a little plastic baggie.
Yeah.
And you could pull C-3PO apart and put him in the bag as if
cool.
Chewie was carrying. Yeah.
I remember that
figure. This is a dope ass moment to me because up until this point,
yes,
Harrison Ford, Han Solo has had no interaction with Darth Vader. For all intents and purposes, he's just like a legend, and he immediately knows who he is.
He shoots him. It's true.
Like it just speaks to like the mythos of Darth Vader within this world.
Well, did
that
you
someone
notice...
who's has only kind of heard of him, and kind of seen him, chop an old guy in half, maybe, even though he wasn't really paying attention, would be like, he needs to get killed now.
That Darth Vader actually shot first in that scene.
The other thing that's cool though is that, I mean,
the dinner for five that we're watching there.
Han is like, he's brave in that moment.
Yeah,
and it's a different kind of thing. He doesn't turn to Leia and like try to run and like grab her and try and get out of there like he might have in the beginning of Star Wars. He's now at a point where it's like he steps forward. He's the hero of the rebellion, and he's like, he takes the shot.
My question for the end of time is, did they eat the dinner?
What did they serve?
What did they eat? How much moof milk was being poured?
Minox,
yeah. What did they watch? Did Darth Vader? Did Darth Vader just watch them eat, or did
what did they talk about? Because he doesn't like offer them any kind of deal.
Darth Vader doesn't even eat. Like, what does he do? Did he just sit there and watch them eat?
It's the pretense. You go through the pretense.
Yeah.
Should there? But I think it's so disturbing. We're not quite there yet, but when Han comes back from being tortured and he just says they didn't even ask any questions.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Pretty messed up.
That seems to me to be almost like a Raiders line. That's an Indiana Jones line.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Where it's like there are subtle differences. I think, Harrison Ford largely in his career, gets by playing Harrison Ford, and most of his characters are just whatever the character is tailored to him. And that's true that Han Solo kind of is indie, but they are a little different. They have, and he's a good enough actor that I think, like, for as cool a guy as he is, that he doesn't have to act. He does. He makes subtle choices and changes.
The dang Empire just loves these little needle platters. They're really, one guy sold them a bunch of these. Just like, hey, you're gonna
my needle guy.
You're gonna need a bunch of these. Wow. Now there was some really cool stuff in the Christmas special with Boba Fett.
Is he's no good to me dead. That's in the original, right?
Yeah.
That's not an added line. And so he does actually. I don't know. This is maybe dumb. Did they re-record that because the line just now as delivered had a like South African or Kiwi type accent, which sounds like Timura Morrison.
Yeah, Sam, that is dumb, and yeah, they re-recorded it.
Cool.
Principal Strickland there. Worried about the
Not-
comic book that
Sam-
Luke has.
Sam signed off.
I didn't know.
You know, Chewbacca's
He
nimble,
does in the original. He goes like, he's that voice where he's like, he's no good to me, dead.
you know,
Oh, he sounds like that guy from every video game.
well, he sounds
Yeah.
like maybe in the animation. You know, there's an animation with Boba Fett
Right.
from the Star Wars.
Do you know what I found out yesterday?
Yes.
And I know we're talking about Star Wars. I watched Waterworld for the first time,
Okay. You're
and I
right.
loved every second of it. It was
I love it.
amazing because it wasn't boring at all, and it's so exciting the whole time, and somehow still feels like it's 4 hours long. That's a special movie.
I call it Star Wars on water.
But the opening narration is done by the actual movie trailer voice guy, so it's like really odd.
That's how
Are
they
you saying
sold
it
movies.
breaks the world just like when the end credits theme music comes on for Star Wars? And
It's
The Rise of
exactly like
Skywalker?
that. The Universal logo turns into a water world, and the trailer voice guy tells us what's going on. So you're like, am I watching the movie
Oh,
yet? Or is
Ryan
this like
started?
when
You
an
didn't make
ad
it.
for the movie I'm watching on YouTube runs?
Did you make it to the end when Peter Falk was reading that book to Fred Savage?
Peter Falk.
I like as a kid when you're watching this, you're so confused about Lando. Is like, is he good? Is he bad? What is he? I still don't like Chewie choking anybody, really.
I'm fine with it. I mean, not because
I'm
it's Lando.
into
Like you're applying what we know about Lando now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I don't
think-
want to see Chewie choke our friend Lando either. But
Yeah.
but we don't know he's our friend yet.
At the time, also is Chewie. Oh, known for his nimble fingers to fix C-3PO. Do you see how many wires are coming out of that arm?
Chewie though has like that he has that like lean kind of strength, like a
Yeah,
kid in
yeah.
gym class that could do pull-ups.
Yeah, exactly.
Lando's got his own problems. He's trying to gear up for an eventual run for a DA of Gotham.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
He's
How
like,
many
"You know
years
Watching
what
later?
this
is gonna
now,
do to my
it's-
campaign?
Would it be
Watching this now,
5 years later he'd be in Batman?
it really highlights
89. So
Wow,
89,
yeah.
yeah, so 9 years.
Wow.
It really highlights how good of a performance Donald Glover gave in like kind of channeling Billy D. Williams.
Yeah.
when you compare, I mean, look, it's different roles, right? The mistake of that movie is just the lead of that movie should never be Han Solo, right? You never like Han is a supporting character. Han is a fun, foil for people. But when you take, Alden Ehrenreich stepping into a Harrison Ford role and Donald Glover stepping into Billy D. Williams role, I mean, it's hard to like split hairs and like say or articulate what each did differently, because like they
Mhm.
both sort of did the same thing, which was try to channel but also make it their own, and like one worked phenomenally and one just like doesn't quite land.
There's also, I mean, some people
mean-
are just like inherently more like charismatic and
Yeah,
like compelling to watch,
Mo-
and Donald Glover
some-
is one of the most charismatic and compelling people to watch on the planet.
some
Fair enough,
people
but
are
I actually
movie
think in the
stars.
first 30 minutes of that movie, I'm not buying Donald Glover. When it was the first 30 minutes of his appearance, I don't think that it
interesting.
actually works. I think as time goes on, it does. I'm not a fan of Lando early on in that movie.
Really?
Interesting. So
Yeah.
this is a scene, obviously, that's very effective. When I was a kid, it was very not to get, I mean, this is why we're here, I guess. It was really affecting to me in as much as it sent this like very chilling fear in me of like these the inevitability of something bad happening that you can't
Mhm.
escape. I still have dreams that are like that all the time. And I
You mean
feel
where
like
you
if
have
I
to
traced
witness
it back,
and know it's about to happen?
where
and
like there's
standing
just
there-
something
Yeah.
terrible that's inescapable, like it's like Han Solo in this moment, and everybody is like in this inescapable situation, and they're forced to just like deal with the fact that it's going to happen. Specifically like this moment where he
Yeah.
like calms Chewie down, and he's like, this is a
Yeah.
thing that's about to happen, so like this is what we need to do.
I
I always found it like very
Ooh.
it's like haunting
Yeah.
to me.
I will credit Kevin Smith with making this scene the most popular scene of Star Wars because
Really?
he there was a show on VH1. It was like I love Star Wars.
It was called When Star Wars Ruled the Universe.
or something like that. And he talks about the
Yeah, or
scene
something like that.
so emphatically, and like just how much Han Solo is like such a badass and such a swashbuckler. And like it really did kind of, I feel after that moment, turn that line into something like everyone was like on it.
His exact line in that, we didn't talk about this earlier. I just remember it also. His exact line is in that is, and then like a pimp, he says, "I know."
Yep, exactly.
But I'd have to say,
Yeah.
Chris, is that it works so well as a scene on its own.
Yes, of
Having
course.
never listened to Kevin Smith, there's so many
Yeah.
people that are like, "Oh, I love that about Han Solo."
Of course.
Yeah,
I
of
think,
course. Yeah.
but-
I think
Also, it's an
got,
improvised line.
yeah, I think he kind of made, they did 99 takes and this is 100. I think I think they did an insane amount of takes and could not get it. Then Harrison just went, I got this.
Do we think one of these Ugnaughts is Queel? We talked about his service to the Empire and how many years it took him to earn his freedom.
Oh, very
This
interesting.
falls without bouncing. That's really upsetting.
Yep. Also, his cuffs broke in the thing.
He was like so close to getting out. He was like, "Oh, I got free."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the carbonite freezes the cuffs first.
Famous line here.
I wonder what he has to say about that in his book.
He made it. Whew. He made it. He's in perfect hibernation.
I'd be snoring through the carbonite.
Wouldn't you feel like there would be?
I don't even think I put together just like, can we just how original an idea that is? It's like, I'm gonna freeze him in metal and like suspended animation, but like not in like a sleeping tube. We're not gonna gas him. We're not gonna freeze him in ice. We're gonna like make a metal plate out of him. That like, spoiler alert, we're gonna hang on somebody's wall. It's so cool.
Yeah, he's like a trophy.
So Vader senses the presence of Obi-Wan in Star Wars. He senses the presence of Luke. We know that Leia isn't trained in the Force, but obviously with the closeness of being his daughter, wouldn't you expect there'd be some sorts of sense, some Force beams flying in his head, thinking about, hey, so there's somebody here who's powerful within the Force in my presence?
Nah, he's not running on Force power right now. He's running on hero foolhardiness right now.
He's running on 80s ripped energy.
Also, Vader is starving. He didn't eat a thing at that dinner.
Can he eat? Does Lobot have to hook a tube up to his back?
He needs a Snickers.
Yeah, what is the deal here?
I love that this is my favorite version of Luke in the original trilogy because he's halfway between the worlds of blasters and lightsabers, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, he's got both.
Yeah. He still doesn't know.
The famous.
He's a little like
Lobot.
He's a little Magoo in Jedi for me.
Yeah.
We'll get to it where it's like the great sort of famous shot of this with the silhouette, on
sure.
kind of red blue, the lightsabers cross and everything. It's like his silhouette is so dope because he's in this like space like swashbuckling jumpsuit. He's got a lightsaber sword in his hand and he's got a gun on his hip and he's like fighting a robot monster. It's so cool.
Fighting a robot monster. Yep.
Is it just me or do stormtroopers only shoot from the hip? I mean, like literally, they never lift their weapons.
They look Yep, they look so disinterested. Also,
well, but that was actually when they first come on the dinner party. Is when they all come up. It looks like half of them aren't really aiming their weapons. They don't actually know where to hold.
Do you think their orders are like, listen, we don't want you to hit him?
This is when
I always if you want what. I don't know. I kind of hate the idea of like headcanoning things. Like it all works because it's awesome. But if we want to headcanon it, I'd say like the whole thing with stormtroopers is it's like the numbers make up for it. We've got volume. We've got a lot of shooting that like this is just gonna obliterate anything we aim at.
I always think this is when Luke leaves the Apple store and goes into the Best Buy.
It's a great set. Do you think those things with the lights, the like octagons with the lights, is that supposed to be a Force perspective of like a pathway, or do you think it's just supposed to be like the edge of everything? You know
I
what
think
I mean?
it's just safety for stairs.
Look at this.
I see what you're saying, like a ramp.
Yeah, that's a great shot.
It
This is
could
full
be.
of great shots, man.
Guys,
That's just
gun on
insane.
the hip.
David Cronenberg's guy.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this is straight out of Dead Ringers.
Yeah.
By the way, you're talking about the blaster. The moment where he looks at his blaster just a second ago
that.
before the fight, and you have the acknowledgement of like, I know this is my moment to face Vader, and I'm not going to need this weapon.
Yeah. Well, it's also like, yeah, there's just this cockiness that he has. Like a real Jedi knows it's like you won't even need a blaster. Like that won't do anything for you. Han told him, don't get too cocky.
They kind of do the trick with they I know I was joking earlier when I said like monster, like robot monster, but like they kind of do the monster movie trick this time, whereas
They don't show
the
him.
lightsaber battle in the original Star Wars does look a little bit slow, a little geriatric. It hasn't aged super well. But this one, which I think is still a weaker lightsaber battle than what we get in Return of the Jedi, I think they keep getting better basically.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, it's like they find a way to stage it and shoot it so that Vader's sort of like inherent clunkiness and slowness actually plays as like a strength. It's like he's so good, he's just like batting Luke away. And that's impressive. That's really cool. And so they use like the weakness of the costume as a strength for the story.
This actually has like the feeling of this could be pretentious, but like it uses like the technique of like old samurai movies where it's not about the actual sword fighting happening. It's like a visual representation of what the sword fighting means.
Yeah.
So it's like not this like literal like great sword fight. But it's like the visuals are so strong with like the silhouettes and stuff that it's like emotionally everything is coming across, and so it's making up for any like lack of technical skill they may be.
Yeah, a lot of time in those old samurai movies, they would stab someone and there'd be no blood, and the sword wouldn't even go through them. Like it would, like it would like hit them, and they'd just go ah.
But
like,
it was more this like impressionistic
yeah
way of doing it, and there is something to that here. Because it is so like the colors are so striking and things like that.
Also, talk about just setting a movie in the magic hour. Bespin is a filmmaker's dream. It's always magic hour in Bespin.
Filmmaker's dream, production designer's nightmare.
Yeah, yeah.
Great, we're gonna shoot for 5 minutes a day.
Okay, here we go.
For the next year.
Chris, is this just like when you said the DP was on set when they were writing the script?
Yeah. For what? Wait, what? Remind me?
For Duel of the Fates.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right.
Weird jump. That was a weird jump. We could, right? That's a weird one.
Yeah. Or he kind of like
they should have put like no over it. Like
he does the vampire jump. Luke getting sweaty there. You getting 80s sweaty. That's an 80s sweat if I've ever seen one. Oh, too easy.
I always forget that the carbon freeze is meant for Luke.
Right.
Also, not to be
very cool that he jumps fast.
Yeah. Like, and do you think Luke knew he could do that, or is like he just did it?
I don't know. He really pooched it there.
Some of it is instinct in the Force, right?
Also, those two lines there are very strange. It says impressive, most impressive.
Like, I don't know. I love it.
I know.
It's something that I almost say anytime that I actually am impressed in real life.
Most impressive. There was a time in Star Wars. I mean, some of the lines still come across a little hokey. I used to have my computer anytime there was a success message say impressive, most impressive. Whoa.
That feels on brand.
Oh.
I don't think, even though this sound effect is not the best moment, I don't think we've given enough conversation to James Earl Jones in these two live streams. I mean,
oh yeah.
Is there anything better than listening to that man read dialogue or read anything?
Every single character he's ever voiced, you cannot imagine anyone else on the planet doing it.
No.
So much so that when they remake the movie, they still just get him.
Yeah. Do you think there's just a team at Lucasfilm working on digitally recreating his voice?
Probably.
Probably. And I think we're going to have that. I mean, I think that's going to be the same issue with I think that's happening with Morgan Freeman, since kind of like the last maybe, I don't know, definitely 10 years, but even 15 years probably. Morgan Freeman's done like everything.
Yeah. Now this scene, so impactful that it's in The Force Awakens. Like this
it's in The Force back.
It's pretty
Yeah.
wild. Like this is so visually striking because you get a
Wait, what?
flavor. You get a flavor of the old Republic here. Like this is like
Yeah. Sam, in the Force back in Force Awakens, Rey is in that hallway.
Oh wow.
yeah.
You guys never
You didn't
noticed
catch
that?
that, Sam? They use the
Wow.
same
Oh,
sound
oh.
effect. They use the
I
sound
think
effect of
3
when
of the
Vader.
4 of us knew that. No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Vader walks on, and the sound effect of kind of his voice, but also the gasp. It's not the
Yeah.
full Vader breath, and then you hear it, and then the whole room hallway twists as she
Yeah.
falls.
No, I
He
remember
goes,
the
I've
twisting.
been in every hallway you've ever seen inside your head.
But actually, and there's the thing.
Oh
So if
yeah,
you're
when
going to
saying,
show
sorry,
that,
when you're saying Vader, do you mean Snoke?
Darth Vader.
yeah, so
Oh.
when you're going to
No,
show
like
that
you
in The
hear
Force Awakens.
Vader's breathing, is what he's saying.
yeah.
If you're going to show that in The Force Awakens, and I didn't want her parentage, I didn't want her family to be related to anybody else. But if you're going to pay that off and pay off the Force back, you need to actually show any of that again later on in The Rise of Skywalker. So at that point, say that she has some connection to the Skywalkers
Special edition.
to have something to do with that scene. There's no point.
I don't know.
Doesn't
I just
matter.
thought it was cool looking. I thought it was just like a
Well,
visual.
but that's what they're going for, Chris. They're looking.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, you're going to recognize this, and it's
Yeah.
cool looking. And not saying that's a. I mean,
Well, no, I mean, I think it just led to like this is one of the most important Force battles that's ever happened. I think.
yeah,
Just
that's fair.
Kind of, it's like it's
That's
like
fair.
that in the main reason was because the lightsaber was involved in it.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so I think it's like
That's a good call.
like beckoning back to that moment of like this is where this lightsaber's been.
I retract.
I didn't know.
Sam
that's
didn't
what
even
the
know it
hallway was.
existed.
I didn't even know. This is all so cool.
Sam's
Sam
only
guys-
seen The Force Awakens.
It's 'cause they really see them, yeah.
I've seen The Force Awakens, I think 3 times, 4 times maybe. I think I've seen
Wow.
it 4. I think I've
I
seen
saw
it
it
4
5 times in the theater.
I saw it twice opening day, and then I saw it once when it came out on digital, and I think I've watched it once since with my dad, who hadn't seen. He still hasn't seen The Last Jedi, and so
Wow.
I'm staying with my parents right now. And
Now's the
so
time.
maybe I'm gonna get him on The Last Jedi.
I love that R2's in the forefront of that shot. I think what they should do is take that thing out of R2 or make a bunch of those keys that R2 has inside of him and just sell that as something. It seems like that'd be very
That
handy.
would be a great fob. They should
Yeah.
definitely make that
Well,
as a fob.
Yeah.
They do have a USB thumb drive at Galaxy's Edge that is the thing that had the search for Luke Skywalker's.
Oh, neat. The little like
Yeah, the thumb
beacon.
drive.
Yeah.
They should definitely sell it. The other thing they should do, they should put some bigger wheels on R2 so he can move a little quicker.
Maybe some rockets.
Put a little pep in that
Yeah.
step.
Yeah. Oh, there he goes. Bye-bye. How do those landing gear retract?
What is this thing for?
It's just another garbage chute. Most of the stuff just revolves around
This
garbage.
feels like the idea was like, oh, they end up on the rudder of the ship, of the sky ship vessel. But
yeah,
then
you're
also
right.
they were like, but it's inside.
But it's
What?
so those are those the same things that prohibit Obi-Wan from going to Qui-Gon as well?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, good point.
Ray shields, right? Is that what they're
I
called?
believe so. Oh, and then Rey Palpatine.
So I never noticed this before
David
until maybe the
Prowse is
last like
tall.
2 viewings of this. Is the helmet during the main scene is kind of like wavering in the wind,
It moves. It blows.
I-
in the
Oh,
wind.
interesting.
and it kind of just makes me feel weird now. I don't like that. As much.
You don't like it?
I've
My-
noticed. I've noticed
That's
that
funny.
very early.
My
Wait,
chick.
what waves in the wind?
The
I've never
helmet
noticed
his
that.
helmet. Watch
the
Vader's
helmet
helmet.
catches the wind, so like the inside.
Oh, I
boy.
see.
It kind of like pops up and down. Not yet.
No, it's on the
Well-
extended hand.
Look at the chain also goes underneath the helmet sometimes. The chain of his cape, and that
Yeah,
bug-
yeah.
that used to bug me.
Luke famously losing his right hand. everyone knows.
Podcast
I don't. I
lore.
mean, no one's ever forgotten that.
Now this was the acting that my brother and I would always just
It's
laugh
real
at.
bad.
This is-
I don't know. I kind of love it.
Here,
I
it's
know,
like a
but
little
yeah,
off
it's
kilter.
endearing.
Man, look at that ADR.
What?
No.
What?
No.
What?
Yeah,
Put this on YouTube. They'll show it on the
there it
Today
is.
Show.
Search your feelings. That's where the helmet's really popping.
Yeah.
Oh,
lot
I
of wind.
see. That's funny.
Yeah,
I've never noticed that before.
his helmet's popping. I think maybe he's just like raising his eyebrows up and down at that moment. All right, all right, all right.
I mean, that's impossible when he says that is the most childish reading. It sounds like something that happens at like
I feel
5.
bad too because like they clearly directed Hamill like, don't worry about what your mouth's doing. We just want the sound, and like so the ADR doesn't quite match.
Yeah.
And, like nobody, they were like, that's the point.
Do you think they forgot about it until until like the day before release? Like, oh wait, we forgot to put that in. Wow.
This is a crazy move.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, unexpected.
Yeah, Vader's like, I did not. See that
I did
happening."
not account. And then he goes through there.
Yeah,
That falling looks
How
pretty
did he-
good.
that's a broken tailbone.
So slideshow collectibles. Is it slideshow or sideshow?
Oh
Sideshow.
my god! Well, it
Sideshow.
depends. What side are you on, Chris?
Who's
Well,
stealing your
it's
money?
where you get collective slideshows. No, sideshow collectibles. I feel like we could do a cut of this where he's just falling through those tubes for like 15 minutes.
It just
Um,
keeps
yeah.
opening.
Also,
I have
that's a hammy. That's a ACL or
Yeah, I have a 1/6 scale model of Luke, hanging from this thing. It's very cool. It
I
came with
also, sorry, props to Ben Burt because that antenna really sounds
Yeah.
like an antenna.
It's very awesome. It's just like the way it's rattling,
Yeah,
and it actually
that
gives.
sounds like
it
my
came with-
dad's up on the roof. God damn it!
I need to get CBS.
The game's on.
You get
miss NCIS.
It comes with a Luke
Los
with
Angeles.
hand and without hand, which is pretty rad. And you can
Why
has
would you
little-
need his hand for that scene, though?
Well, no, but you can have one that's posed before the fight.
They have
Oh.
And then-
a
yeah.
also Chris, if I recall,
Yes.
they have like a sweaty and an unsweaty version. So
Yes.
it's like they have you put the sweaty head and
Yeah.
the no hand on,
Yeah.
or you put
And
the
you-
hand on
And you can dangle them. Yeah.
and you can dang.
And there's a little magnet in the hand part that you could put together. It's very, very cool.
Chris, where is your Bespin Luke right now?
He is residing in a safe in Pennsylvania. A safe haven, I should say.
How long do you guys think you could hang out upside down on an antenna?
Oh, maybe about 30 seconds.
How long?
Well,
oh,
He had a good grip with his legs as well as his
Yeah.
hands. I think that because he's kind
I'd
of
pass out almost instantly and just slide off.
Yeah.
The thought of
Yeah.
it alone is giving me a panic attack. I'd just give up.
That scene's cool. I think this is special edition, but that looks amazing.
You know, I was about
And-
to say this is the least cozy of the scenes, but really it's kind of cozy too.
Yeah.
Guys, I've been working on my non-Star Wars painting. I've been working on landscapes right now, and I work in watercolor, and I'm like, you know what I should do? That Bespin sky is on
It's
point.
beautiful. It's
It's
gorgeous.
beautiful.
You could also just make the actual Cloud City like a dot in it. Just do the whole sky and do
Yeah.
a tiny,
Right.
tiny Cloud City.
Right above Lothal.
New to the cannon, the head cannon.
Here we
Uh,
go.
Due to the cotton cannon.
I like that the Falcon just has basically a door for any scenario.
Oh yeah,
Gotta have your
Put in
safe-
the ads.
Gotta have your safety harness. Love that little detail.
it's a great detail that's
Yeah.
like not
Yeah.
consistent throughout Star Wars.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
Episode 9, they literally just jump onto the top
yeah,
of it and
yeah.
fly
One
out
of
of the
one of the
atmosphere.
main tenets of Star Wars is that like space travel has become so common that there's no sense of danger.
No one's carrying around a carabiner in the new ones.
Oh, he's not doing well.
I lost my hand. Ah.
Leia gives him, it's coming up, but when she goes back to the cockpit, she like kisses him on the mouth, but like doesn't kiss him. She just like places her mouth on top of his.
I gotta say this.
It's so odd. I mean, it's odd because they're brother and sister. So I guess it's like, how do you want a brother and sister to kiss on the mouth? You know, but like, Anyone in the chat still watching? How do you want a brother and sister to kiss on the mouth?
Oh no.
Send videos.
There you go.
Whoa. But she thinks she's like annoyed at.
Watch, here it comes. Here it comes.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
yep.
weird.
It's odd,
It's you know what it is. It feels like
especially since she clearly
I think
was in a
part of it-
relationship with Han before
She
him.
really-
I think
She
part
really,
of it was like it there wasn't that line of dialogue, so it's like it's heightened by the fact that like whatever the quick peck was is followed by like a line of dialogue that clearly there's not enough time to say, you know?
I guess you could, in life and death situations like this, you could see two friends sharing
Yeah.
a platonic
Peck.
kiss.
It's not my fault.
So I didn't realize this till earlier. I saw someone else watching Star Wars earlier today, and Star Wars ends at exactly 2 hours. I think this is what we're going to finish
It's
out here.
2:07.
Just 2:07.
Wow.
I mean, they're tight and they're well done, and I think they
Yeah.
knew. They're like, we can't
Yeah.
do something over 2:10.
Yeah.
I read somewhere
This
new-
movie wasn't like, we need to wrap this up. We need to spend an extra 25 minutes wrapping this up in a way
Right.
that'll make everybody happy.
Yeah. Yeah, this is I think as a kid I would always say, or like earlier in my Star Wars fandom, I would say like, how unsatisfied would you have been if you watched this when it was released in theaters, knowing the ending? You would have just been like, what? Like I have to
Yeah.
wait an indiscriminate amount of time for the next one. Like you didn't know when the next one was gonna be out. Must have been insane. Yo.
He's accepted it. He's already accepted it.
Yeah. So Lucas did a bunch of focus tests with children at this time to see if they believed that Darth Vader was either lying, like they wanted to know how to pull off the scene so that people believed Darth Vader when he said he was his father. And they wanted to know if children thought that he was just so bad that he just everything he says is a lie, or if he was actually telling the truth.
Well, at least he didn't tell him about the fact that his parents were dead in a pauper's grave.
Yeah, right.
That's the lie.
So that was kind of the Lucas's. He hired a psychologist to do screen tests with
I
children.
tell you, I think it's a bad narrative choice to have huge information be a lie.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes.
Even if it's your bad guy, it'd be a weird move to be like, as we know because we saw it later
Yeah.
in the Star
Well, I
Wars
think.
saga.
Yeah, I mean, I
To
think
be
that was.
like, that was a lie. I
Yeah,
said.
I think that was their main concern, was like to be like to make sure it didn't come across that way. And he used children-
I generally think that if someone says something in a movie, if I don't have the information that they're lying, I
Yeah.
assume they're not lying.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, Ryan. I there's
Yeah.
it's so
Well, when
like I've
it wa-
never
when they do something right, seems like they've done nothing wrong at all.
there it is.
I'm trying to literally think of a moment in a movie where someone lies
Well, if you're a
and we don't
child,
know.
yeah, if you're a child, I mean, you see Darth Vader, bad guy. He's
Look at
not telling the
polish
truth.
on that helmet.
I mean, children famously stupid. I'm joking.
Careful the things you say, Ryan. Children will listen.
No, I believe.
Why
that
don't we
children are our
tell people
future.
more often that they're having delusions of grandeur? I think we should
I
tell
try to
people
say
that
it
all
as
the
much
time.
as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah. Now these ships, this is like a super impressive scene here of models. Like, look at this.
What an impractical shit. That thing is just waiting to snap in half. How do you even dock that thing?
It's cool though.
Oh yeah, it's the best. That little tortoiseshell ship, they're still using it in the sequels. Y-wing. That might be the wait. There are no Y-wings in the trench run, right? Are
Mm,
No.
there?
no,
No.
they are. They're Y-wings.
There
Yeah,
are?
There's Y
Yeah.
wings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Y wing. There's no B wings.
There's no B-wings.
And there's no A-wings in the trench run.
No, definitely no A-wings.
By the way, I think we've talked about this on the pod, but Han just being
Why
like,
would
I'm
they set their
or-
rendezvous point at Tatooine? So dumb.
Lando throwing on
Yeah.
the vest of Han, just like, all right, whatever he's got, I'm putting that on.
Yeah, I guess he's got no clothes. And that radio droid with the he bit into a radio microphone stuck there. I love
I
this.
thought this was so cool.
It's so
I
cool.
know.
I like that he says ow,
The little
too.
pistons
it, like,
moving.
It
Yeah.
so efficiently like tells you everything you need to know about their technology.
Yep.
Ah, here you go. So you were right, Ryan. It's 2:07, but I was talking about the actual end of the film was 2 on the dot for Star
Wow.
Wars in terms of when
Look
it
at
hit
this.
credits.
Wow.
And we're gonna hit it about what, 203 maybe? No, 202.
Movies weren't that long back then. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Look at this.
I don't know. Godfather's pretty long.
It's pretty long.
I think Hitchcock once said, if a movie's going to be over an hour and a half, it better have sandals and it better have swords.
That's funny.
Is that that's a real quote?
I believe so, yeah.
That's a good quote.
He said that on
He said that
Lothal.
on Marin's podcast.
Oh.
Did anybody else ever feel like as
Look
these-
at this. This scene is super impressive. Look at they're like tiny in there. It's so cool.
But as this ended, you were just kind of like holding on for it to
Yo.
last a little bit longer. So
Yeah.
you
I
could
had
spend
no.
more
I
time
only
with
had
the
to wait
characters you
a
loved.
week. I remember. No, but it's like when you used to
Back
watch.
to the
Used to watch, or like when you're watching like a show like Lost, and you're like,
Hey.
it's 50 minutes in. I'm not gonna get all the answers.
yeah. Also,
Do you guys-
notably
The Last
directed by
Jedi.
Irving Kershner, not George Lucas.
Kasdan and Lee
last-
Brack wrote the script.
The
Interesting.
Last Jedi was one where, I mean, it's my favorite. It's my second favorite Star Wars movie. Star Wars is my favorite, then Last Jedi, then Empire. And I think like the like that one's a little long. That one has like an act past what I think where I think it could have ended and where I thought it was gonna end.
Lee Brackett, just looked it up. She wrote The Big Sleep, The Long Goodbye, and Rio Bravo. So how about the pedigree on display there? It's very cool.
Wow.
Well, happy May the 4th to everyone who joined
Happy
us.
May the
May the
4th be
4th.
with
Hey, May the
everybody.
4th
Thank you for
be with you
joining.
all. Thank you so much for joining us.
This is always a treat, and and a pleasure to experience Star Wars with all of you. And I got to give another tip of the cat to Disney Plus. They're using a lot of concept art now in honor of May the 4th.
It's
That
rad.
as you watch, you get to see this as
Mhm.
we can just go right into Return of the Jedi. I don't see we stop. Ooh, 2 hours 14 minutes here in Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
Not
wow.
closing in on that 2 hour mark.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, guys. I'm so amped to do Return of the Jedi. I'm ready. To, I can't.
Should we just
tonight.
fire her up?
Oh, I'm dying. I want to.
Thank you, everybody in the chat, for joining. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank-
Bailey.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lil
Thanks
Grey
for
Bunny.
watching.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Any
Mark Hamill,
excuse
for
to watch a
joining.
Star
Anybody who
Wars.
came in late,
Yeah,
I'm sorry
thanks,
that you missed Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill, he's watching on the Instagram. Thanks for all our Instagram listeners that went to Instagram, then came back to Facebook. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, we didn't have time for Mark Hamill. We'll get to you next time, buddy.
Anyone on the Twitch feed say anything?
No.
Yeah, same
Oh,
with
the
YouTube,
website.
but we're there for you.
We're there
Um,
for you.
We're gonna
Thanks
keep
for
doing
joining.
these. I think.
Yeah.
I think we've all committed. We're gonna, as long as this thing lasts and even beyond. Hopefully we can go outside at some point before we finish the whole saga. But we're gonna continue working through the saga films, maybe the Star Wars stories. It's always fun to
It's a blast.
get together and have an excuse to watch a movie. And I do find myself, I might not draw during the next one because it does like distract me, man. And once I was done with that painting, I was like in it. These movies are so much fun to watch. So just thanks for giving me another excuse, as always.
Well, it is a pleasure always with this group. And of course, if you want another chance to win Sam's art, we're going to pick another winner who watched here during The Empire Strikes Back. Sam, we're committing you to what, 9 of these at least?
This is
You're giving away
Oh,
one
this is
every
good.
time.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely do them for the original trilogy.
yeah.
No, we'll do them for all. I love it. Look, it's I have so much fun, and you guys, can check out on Instagram for the paintings, but it's a blast.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this live edition of the Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast. May the 4th be with you all. We will catch you again on our next live. Join us, Droids Pod, on iTunes. You can subscribe to the Droids You're Looking For Star Wars podcast. Twitter, Droids Pod. Instagram, Droids Pod. Facebook, the Droids Podcast. And, of course, droidspod@gmail.com.
Phone home. Star Wars.
This has
famous
been-
Star Wars quote.
The Droids You're Looking For, a Star. Well, he's in Star Wars. He's in
Yeah.
Star Wars.
It's canon.
Well,
That's
he's
canon.
not. His kind are.
His kind.
We have no
But we-
evidence that is the
I think
ET.
it is.
And we have no evidence that it's not. So
That's true. That's true.
Home.
This has been the Droids You're Looking For, a Star Wars podcast.
Annie?